Welcome back courtside inside the Burns Arena. Carrick segment alongside Mike Olson and Devin Dixon. We go three-man crew on this ESPN 97.7 FM broadcast again. Felt like they worked great last year, and we're going to do it again this year. Let's give you some Cafe Sabor starting lineups, and then we'll give you some quality and keys to the game. First, we'll give you the visiting Griffins. Again, 5-1 overall, led by head coach Norm Parrish. And Mike, we talked about this last year. Both times these two teams played. If there's ever a game where the coaches are coaching as hard as they can for victory, it's this game because Norm Parrish, Westminster head coach, and John Judkins, Dixie State head coach, have been coaching against each other their entire collegiate coaching careers. And it's always fun to see these guys go head-to-head.
That's right. They even played against each other. They were rivals in high school. So this goes back a long ways. And talking to Norm, Coach Parrish before the game, I mean, he touched on that same thing. And he pointed out that they've only got 2 games left, unless Juddy decides to play them as an exhibition game next year. But Norm already understanding that his chances to get a few more wins on Coach Judkins is dwindling.
Let's give you these starting lineups for the Griffins, coming in at 5-1 overall. By the way, Norm Parrish, like Coach Judkins, overall as a collegiate coach, over 500 wins, 511 wins as a head coach at Westminster in his 5-season, 58-26. For Norm Parrish. And Westminster is going to go like this. The way they've started every single game, they go with Brandon Ward. Devin, you talked about him, 18.3 points per game. They go with Jake Connor, 12 points per game. Jonas Tavanainen, 8 points per game. Alec Monson, 12 points per game. And J.J. Eli at 14 points per game. Guys, this entire Westminster starting lineup, with the exception of one, averaging double-figure scoring, and that's the thing about this Westminster team. If you can slow down the starters, they're not getting a lot of production from the bench right now. It's all coming from the starting 5.
Yeah, they're really with a 7-man rotation. They got 2, unless they get into foul trouble, then they'll be forced to go a little bit deeper. But War is 3rd in scoring in the conference so far. He's 1st in rebounding, like you mentioned, Carrick, the double-double. They got to keep Jack Pagenkopf out of the lanes in this game, and they got to win on the boards. I think both coaches know the importance of the battle on the boards tonight, Oli.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw it in the women's game. I mean, the women's game was decided by rebounding. Right? No question, that's a key tonight.
Give you the Dixie State starting lineup, led of course by head coach John Judkins. One difference in the starting lineup tonight after how well he's been playing. They'll go Jack Pagenkopf, Dason Youngblood, Frank Stain, Josh Newbold, and then Hunter Schofield. So Newbold starting tonight in place of Cameron Chatwin, where Cameron was the last few games. But those are your starting 5 for the Trailblazers. Those are your Cafe Sabor starting lineups. Mike, let's toss it to you for some quick quality and keys to the game. What's Dixie State got to do tonight to get a win?
Number 1, make adjustments. These teams know each other inside and out. They know the scouting reports. They know the tendencies. It's going to be which team makes adjustments the quickest. Second is toughness. They have to play so tough tonight. This is physical, it's going to be a game that's going to be decided. Mental toughness, physical toughness. Finally, the last key is going to be who's got the energy. Dixie has to play like this is a home court advantage and play with a lot of energy.
Oh, here we go. Let's play basketball. Dixie State in the home whites, Westminster in the road gold uniforms. And Westminster, just like in the women's game, going to win the opening tap. It'll be Eli setting it up. 3-point land straight away. We are underway live on ESPN 97.7 FM. And on the Dixie State Stretch Internet portal, as well as CEC TV. Eli kicking it out. Top of the key. Brandon Ward for 3. We mentioned him in the pregame, and he hits a 3 already.
Yeah, quick release. Just let it come right off the fingertips, straight away. Knocked it down. Good start for the Griffins.
3-0. Griffins lead it. 19:33 to play. Youngblood, 3-point land straight away. Top of the key, Pagenkopf will lob in. Schofield catching. He'll score it easily. What a pass.
Hey, see, early on, both teams going to the spot they want to get the ball. Westminster wants to get the ball at the high post. Dixie really wants to attack the block.
3-2, Dixie State trailing. 19:15 to play. Pagenkopf a tip, but Tavanainen able to chase it down. Into the corner, Connor. Connor looking for Tavanainen. Top of the key, Eli. Pagenkopf nearly had another steal. That's twice on this one possession. 10 to shoot. Left side, Alec Monson, 3, too strong. Pagenkopf the rebound. Pursued by Brandon Ward. They let him know of it. Does the Dixie State bench. And Pagenkopf will set up the offense. Gives to Frank Stain, right wing. Screen from Newbold. Stain will roll it off of it. Free throw line jumper, good. Dixie State leading 4-3, 18:43 to play.
A little bit more patience that time. Jack didn't have that entry early. Gave it up, Frank, knocking that mid-range jumper down. Smooth stroke.
18:35 remaining here in the first half. They'll kick it out. Westminster. War, another 3-point try. Rims out. Pagenkopf the rebound. Jack Pagenkopf's been everywhere already. Rebounds, assists, you name it. Youngblood. Baseline left side, back to Jack. Left wing, guarded by Eli. Pagenkopf puts it on the floor, now whips it back out. Newbold for three straight away, and it will rim out, the first Dixie State miss of the night. And here come the Griffins. Connor gives to Tavanainen. Tavanainen tipped, stolen by Frank Stain. Here we go, and Stain will lay it up and in.
I think he lost his legs a little. I think he wanted to get up, maybe do a 360, and just didn't have that lift there and said, I better take the finger roll. Still a great steal and bucket for the Trailblazers.
Brandon Ward to answer on the other end, and he knocks it in. He's got 6, a three-point shot. We are tied at 6.
Well, Dixie's got to do a better job of taking him out of his catch-and-shoot game early. It's been way too easy for him.
Stain has his pass tipped, but Schofield able to chase it down. Here's Youngblood. Dason into the lane, kicks it out Schofield. Free throw line extended. Defender hits the deck, turnaround jumper from Schofield, rims out. Stain will tap it into the air, but Connor the rebound for the Griffins. Eli will swing it over to Monson, and Westminster will set it up, 22 to shoot. Here's Brandon Ward with 2 3-point makes already, lobbing into Tavanainen, but before he can catch it, an offensive foul. They say Jonas pushed off, trying to get the position.
Yeah, just a little extension there, and then the lob came, and he's just holding Schofield for just long enough to draw the whistle. Actually a really good entry. Pagenkopf was coming over for some weak side help, but an offensive foul.
Trailblazers with the possession. Here's Schofield looking left to Stain, but can't get it to him. Instead, Newbold, they'll whip it around right wing. Youngblood, dribble, pull up, free throw line, jumper in and out. Offensive rebound, Newbold, and the putback is good.
That's a toughness you want to see. You want to see Newbold grind down there and go for those rebounds because they're going to be there. If he's got position and he's going after the ball, he's going to be able to get some of those offensive rebounds.
Trailblazers an 8-6 lead, 16:30 remaining first half. Monson will drive inside, and he'll get a lefty layup. Dribbled from right to left and laid it in.
Yeah, and use that rim to kind of shield off a would-be block attempt. A nice soft touch with the offhand to finish.
First Griffin other than Brandon Ward to get on the scoreboard tonight. We are tied at 8. Dason Youngblood will drop his defender. He drives in and lays it in with the right hand.
Yeah, Willardson kind of got a little shake and bake, lost his footing, and right by him, nice finish by Youngblood.
16 minutes to go. War, left wing 3, another one. He makes it. 3 threes for Brandon War, and Westminster an 11-10 lead.
It's another catch and shoot. They've got to do a better job when he comes off those screens to make him put it on the floor and change his game. He's got a good stroke and a good rhythm going right now.
11-10, Griffins lead it. We're under 16, media timeout coming on the next whistle. Pagenkopf with 15 to shoot. Will kick to Schofield, right wing 3 to answer, too short. And the rebound goes to Tavanainen and the Griffins.
That's the shot they want, though. Jack gets down the lane, gets that kick out for an open 3. It just didn't fall.
War, left corner, another 3. Banked off the backboard and came out. And here's Pagenkopf, snares the rebound ahead to Youngblood. Dribbles through the leg, kicks right side, Stain. Spot up 3, and it's good.
And you really got some playmakers on the floor right now because Youngblood can really handle the ball. Got to the middle of the key, got the cross-court dish, and Frank Stain doesn't hesitate, knocks down the triple.
13-11, 2-point Dixie State lead. 15 minutes to go, a full minute past the media. Monson to War, they leave him open. He'll try a 3 right wing, too strong, and tapped around. Dixie State the rebound. Schofield ahead to Youngblood. Slows it up left wing, gives to Stain, swing to Jack Pagenkopf. Wide open look for 3, leaves it short. And Jake Connor goes up high and snares the rebound for the Griffins. Now to Alec Monson as the Griffins set up. 23 on the shot clock. Monson will bounce it backdoor to Connor. They'll whip it to the left corner. Eli for 3. No. Schofield had the rebound, lost it. And they're going to say it was tapped out of his hands. It looked like he might have just lost it. That brings us to the first media. 14:29 to go in the first. Dixie State 13, Westminster 11. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand. Lobs, catch,
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or 1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
It's the RMAC Conference opener, and what a way to start it. And then to have the in-state rivals go head-to-head just like last season, but this time in St. George instead of up in Salt Lake City in the opener. And Dixie State a 13-11 lead with 14:29 to play. Mike, you've had a chance to look at the stat sheet. What have you noticed over the first 5 minutes of this ballgame?
Nothing surprising. The pace is up, scoring is up, War's hitting threes. You know, the playmakers are making the plays. Nothing really surprising. It's scripting exactly the way we thought.
Has gone according to script so far. Schofield will set it up for Dixie State, hand off to Youngblood. Pump fake at the right elbow, will spin inside, and he gets it to go in traffic. 15-11. Dixie State the lead. Youngblood with 4, and that is the difference in this game. Monson for the Griffins will drive inside. Lefty layup, no. Cameron Chatwin the rebound. He just checked in during the timeout. And he'll give to Pagankoff on the floor for the Trailblazers. Pagankoff, Chatwin, Youngblood, Stain, and Schofield. Youngblood, baseline left side jumper, too strong. Monson the rebound for Westminster. 13:40 to go first half. Dixie State leading 15-11. Westminster will set it up. Here's Connor swinging into the right corner. Touch pass inside. Floater with the right hand. Couldn't get it to go. That was Brandon Willardson. And Dixie State the rebound. Pagankoff accelerates, gets in the lane and scoops. Oh man, it rimmed out. But what a play that would have been. Went up and under the arm of the defender.
I don't know if he got an extra step in or if he just covered a lot of ground to create some space.
And Jake Connor splashes in a 3, the 4th three-point shot of the night for Westminster. And Dixie State a 1-point lead.
And Connor was 9 of 23 on three-pointers coming into tonight, so he's not scared to take them in high volume.
Stain, baseline left side, lets a jumper fly. No. Cameron Chatwin thought he might have a shot at the offensive rebound, but it goes off of his hand. Here come the Griffins. Connor again, left corner 3, and it's good. Westminster is on fire, and that may be an understatement.
Oh, he loves that side of the floor. I mean, he knew exactly coming off that screen where he wanted to catch the ball, and he was wide open.
17-15 Westminster lead. Hunter Schofield left side jumper rims out. And here come the Griffins. J.J. Eli in transition, gets to the bucket. He's fouled, misses the layup, but a couple of free throws coming for J.J. Eli.
You know, you look at right now that Griffins shooting 5 for 10 from the three-point line. They're definitely look to attack from deep, and Dixie's not panicking. I love that about they're playing. The Griffins are shooting lights out, but Dixie is not panicking. They understand, hey, we're only down 2. They're not going to be hitting shots like that all night.
You know, we kind of touched on that. Coach Judkins knows they want to weather the storm because they're a streaky team. And there's going to be games of runs. Basketball is typically that way. And little contact here late, kind of stand his ground, kind of go straight up. One of those you probably could have let him play on, but you know, as a player early on, you can try to gauge how tight the officials are going to call this contest.
Eli makes the first free throw. He'll have one more. Coming in tonight, a 78% free throw shooter. And he makes them both. And a game-high lead of 4 for the Griffins at 19-15. Back and forth we go inside the Burns. Griffins showing some full-court pressure here. Trailblazers able to dribble out of it. Here's Pagankoff. Kicks to the corner. Andre Wilson into the game. Cameron Chatwin catch and shoot 3 straight away. Is short. Probably not the shot that Coach Judkins wanted. Here come the Griffins. Here's Eli. And Westminster can make it a 3-possession game here. Brandon War in the lane. Hanging, can't hit, tapped out. Pagankoff on the run for the Trailblazers. Will drive inside, hangs. Little scoop shot out of the rim. Offensive rebound. Jared Green missed the putback and the rebound to Brandon Willardson and the Griffins.
Well, you love Jack trying to create in transition there. You get the offensive look for the putback, it just doesn't fall.
Under 12 here in the first half. Jake Connor, pump fake right wing. Media timeout coming next whistle. Connor throws it away. Leighton Parker the steal. Parker is going to lay it up. No good. A lot of contact, no whistle.
Yeah,
and now a whistle rings out. Is that on the initial contact on the layup, or is that a loose ball foul afterward? It is going to be against Brandon War. So Parker going to go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably on the loose ball rebound, kind of a late whistle, but Leighton kind of put that shoulder dip in, instigated that early contact, didn't get it there, so maybe they're going to let him play a little bit more than we thought. On the other end, a pretty tight whistle that time, late foul.
11:27 to go. Dixie State trailing 19-15. We're about halfway into the media timeout already. Let's just take a quick 30-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
$11:27 to go. Dixie State trailing 19-15. They did end up calling the foul on Brandon War, so he was moving, definitely didn't have the position. So if they're calling that against Brandon War, it should be free throws for Leighton Parker.
Yeah, that last shot there from the CEC TV screw definitely showed he was moving. But again, like I said earlier, Leighton Parker was the one that forced that foul. I mean, War did everything right. He's getting back. He just wasn't able to set in time, and I like that. That's your freshman, Leighton Parker. He just checked into the game out of Bingham High School, played for Coach Schroeder when he was the coach there, and pretty heady move there.
You got to like War's efforts there. I mean, he played that pretty good defensively. When you got somebody going that fast on the dribble, trying to get in front of him,
Juddy thinks this should be on the shot. We thought it should be on the shot too.
Well, it all depends on who if Brandon War is being assessed that foul, it has to be a shooting foul. Yeah. But they're going to give it to Pagankoff, baseline right side. Will bounce into Green. Green will spin away from a defender. Floater with the right hand. He gets it to go. The big man at 6'8" gets up high and floats it in.
I've been watching throwback Mike Olson videos. Maybe some Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there, the little baby skyhook.
Left shoulder.
19-17. Dixie State trailing by 2. Here's War with 11:05 to go. Whipping it left side. Westminster with possession. Kitzman. Now to Jake Connor.
They like this pistol where they do a lot of handoffs.
Back to War, 5 to shoot. 3-point land straight away. Pushing off on Chatwin. Fadeaway 3, no. Offensive rebound, Jake Connor. The Griffins will reset with a 20-second shot clock. Eli. Dribble handoff to Connor. Top of the key, here's Willardson. Back to Connor. Pressured by Pagankoff. Throws to Eli. 5 to shoot again. Down to 4. Eli tapped away. Ball is loose and a steal for Dixie State. Pagankoff's got it. Jack surveys his options. Kicks it to the right corner. Parker, catch and shoot 3. Bang!
That's so heady by Jack Pagankoff. There's a reason why he leads the RMAC in assists, 8.2 per game. He's 4th nationally. He just was very patient, then boom, hits the open guy for the triple.
Well, the thing you love about Jack Pagankoff is he's got 5 rebounds. He's grabbing those rebounds and taking off. That's really changed the pace of the game. When your point guard is that aggressive, can get a rebound and go and then find somebody to kick, that changes the pace of the game.
He's trying to get another triple-double is what he's doing.
And the point guard position is so important in Coach Judkins' offense. You look back, he reminds me a lot of Mason Sawyer. He's got a little bit of Brandon Simister in him. I mean, you look at all the great point guards Juddy's had over the years, and Pagankoff really fits what his style is.
Yeah.
Westminster with possession after Andre Wilson was called for foul, and he's going to get called for another one on the inbounds pass, kind of getting up and under Brandon War, didn't give him space to land, and he picks up 2 quick ones.
Coach Judkins talking to his team defensively. You can see Andre just did not give him enough room to come down, but hey, that's aggressive, and you can kind of live with that one. Kind of a ticky-tack foul there, but at least he's being aggressive and going out knowing that War's is going to catch it, and who knows what to do with it behind the 3-point line.
Unfortunately, Wilson's already got 2 quick ones, so he's not getting a chance to play and get him in rhythm now.
Willardson with 10 to shoot for Westminster. Fumbles, kicks to the left corner. Kitzman, a 3 on the way. No. Frank Stain, the rebound, hands off to Youngblood. Dayson pushes across the timeline. Cut off by Eli. Schofield now holding three-point land straight away. Gives to Frank Stain, left wing. Bounces to Newbold, top of the key.
I keep working through Frank Stain. He's really showing a hot hand to start this game.
Schofield inside, had a layup, missed it. Little contact, no whistle. Probably should have got that one a little higher on the glass though. Westminster the other way. Monson to Eli, to Kitzman, left corner. Lobbing in to Willardson. Missed a shot point blank. Leighton Parker the rebound for Dixie State. Gives to Stain. Stain spins away from a defender, gets a screen now, stops the dribble, gives the Newbold three-point land straight away. Stain now a touch pass in to Schofield. 15 to shoot. He's got it baseline right side. Turnaround jumper, another little sky hook. It's up and in. Dixie State leads 22-19.
Oh, he's polished. You can tell he's been at the JUCO level, really started to work. Good footwork there. And that's not an easy shot. You got to worry about the backboard there. Got the friendly bounce, though. It's great touch on the hook.
A whistle and a foul on Schofield on the other end, and he's flabbergasted. He's got kind of the hands held out. The international symbol of saying, what? Not me. He's going to come to the bench as he picks up the foul, his first.
Now we talked about his second. One of the keys being adjustments. You've got to adjust to the officials and how they're calling the game. And then you can see Dixie's coaches talking to Schofield afterwards about, hey, that may not be a foul, but that's how they're calling it tonight, so be ready for it.
22-19, Dixie State the lead, 8:45 remaining. Here's Kitzman for Westminster. Swinging it right side. Eli, one more pass. Brandon War for three, right corner. He airballed that one, but offensive rebound for Alec Monson, and he lays it in.
Well, I think War was trying to get it over maybe a would-be shot block. He kind of rushed that. Uncharacteristic for him to airball, but then talk about being right spot, right time.
Youngblood shot is blocked by J.J. Eli and out of bounds. Dixie State will maintain the possession. 8:24 in the game, 21 on the shot, leading 22-21.
There's a shot of Coach Parrish working the Griffins sideline.
Jason Youngblood to trigger, baseline left side. Will lob into Josh Newbold, mid-post left side. Working on Tavanainen, and he gets it to go off the window from the left side. 4 points for Josh Newbold. Dixie State lead is 3. Monson drives around a screen, jump step into the lane, bounces back to Ward. Dribble handoff, Kitzman. The free throw line, they'll swing it into the corner. J.J. Eli for three, right corner. Banks off the glass and then tap back out. Another offensive rebound for the Griffins. Kitzman, left wing three, too strong. Jared Green the rebound for the Trailblazers.
You know, just like Devin mentioned, they're very streaky, feast or famine.
Lob inside, Newbold, one more pass. Three for Frank Stain, left corner. Caught the ball, took a dribble, a step into the corner, drains the three.
Great
Dixie
shot
State
there.
A 27-21 lead.
Great shot by Frank Stain, got his feet ready to shoot. And again, point guard looking for him, knowing exactly where his teammate was going to be.
And another foul away from the ball against Dixie State. It's going to go against Frank Stain. That will bring us to the under 8 media timeout. 7:26 to play, and Dixie State leading 27-21 as it's the Trailblazers' turn to go on the run. We take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
I got you right where I want you. I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
Welcome back inside the Burns Arena courtside. Carrick Segman with you alongside Mike Olson and Devin Dixon. Guys, we said it's a game of runs. It was an 8-0 run for Westminster. Now Dixie State responding with a 12-2 run to take a 27-21 lead.
Yeah, it's been a great job at Dixie State battling back. You know, they were down a little bit, small deficit. Westminster got really hot, but Dixie's changed the pace. We talked about it a little bit. Jack Pagenkopf with 5 rebounds, has really changed the pace of this game. He's really taken control, and it's been helped with guys like Frank Stain that can knock down those jumpers.
Back into play, Westminster with possession on a 15-second shot clock. It's James Waljasper for the first time today. We'll swing it near side, and Tavanainen right back to Waljasper. 7 to shoot. Here's Monson with 5 to shoot. Step back 3 left wing. In and out, Tavanainen, offensive rebound, right-handed layup good.
And that'll drive Coach Judkins crazy. Middle of the paint, offensive rebound, and give Tavanainen credit. He was right place, right time.
Newbold, baseline right side, passes it. They'll swing it around. Stain, another 3 right wing, and he is on fire. Another Lonnie Boys Barbecue 3-pointer for Frank Stain. He's got 13 to lead all scorers. Pass inside, Monson is fouled. Is that going to be Jared Green or Dason Youngblood? Both were in the area. It will be Youngblood picking up the foul, his first. Dixie State by 7, 30-23, 6:36 until halftime. Alec Monson at the line for 2 for Westminster. First one is good.
You know, you don't want a guy like Alec Monson to get a good look at the basket right now, going to shoot some free throws. He kind of got cold a little bit. Now this will give him a chance to gather himself, get a good look. So Dixie's got to take a mental note of that he's a decent shooter. Just knock down 2 free throws. You can't leave him open.
Monson makes both. He's got 6. The lead trimmed to 5, 30-25. 6:30 to go until halftime. And a back-and-forth game in the Burns. Pagankoff into Newbold, back to Jack. From the angle left side. Dribbles around his screen, and a whistle and a foul. Going to ring out. Foul against Matt Kitzman, trying to fight through the Josh Newbold screen. His first.
And you always got to be ready for the pass when Pagankoff's floating around the key. He's going to put it on the floor. Probably got fouled on the initial dribble drive there. Or that's the foul that was called.
Yeah.
But prior to that, he had that wraparound pass, and it kind of surprised Newbold a little bit.
Youngblood to put it back into play to Jack Pagankoff. Pagankoff will be bumped, this time by James Waljasper. First on Waljasper on the 4th team foul against Westminster with 6:18 to go until halftime. Still a 30-25 lead.
Well, you love Dixie State, shooting 48% right now. Good shot selection from outside. They're 50% there, 4 of 8 from downtown. And right now defensively holding the Griffins to 33%. So 5-point lead, pretty pleasant with that if you're Coach Judkins. He's never satisfied, though.
Newbold will drive inside, leaves his feet, hangs and hits from about 5 feet away. Newbold was 6 tonight in a 7-point Dixie State lead. 32-25, Trailblazers lead it. Under 6 to go. First half, Westminster with possession on the other end. Tavanainen to Monson. Monson gets inside, will whip it off the window, can't get it to go. Jack Pagankoff goes up high and gets the rebound. Pagankoff bouncing inside Youngblood. And Youngblood traveled.
On that last defensive runner down the lane, I love how Josh Newbold went out, extended, made himself big. He's 6'7", but he almost felt like he was a 7-footer trying to get that shot off, right? That was really good defense.
5:30 to go. Dixie State still a 7-point lead. 32-25. Here's Connor. Bouncing near side, Tavanainen. Puts it on the floor. Gets inside, off the window, no. And ball fell into the hands of Daniel Quisenberry. But Quisenberry came down on the line. It goes back to Dixie State.
Yeah, I think Tavanainen kind of ran into each other there, both trying to get that loose ball rebound, and ends up going back to the Trailblazers. Chance to push that lead up.
Well, that set for Westminster's a 3-man game. They've got 3 guys that run a triangle right in the middle of the key with the shooters on the outside. So there's a lot of congestion right there in the middle of the key.
Pagankoff and Dixie State with a 7-point lead, 15 to shoot, 4:55 to go in the first half. Stain, top of the key, Green, swinging it near side. That's the left side. And Pagankoff dribbles to the free throw line, a fadeaway jumper, too strong, and Alec Monson the rebound.
A couple of Jack's jump. He's 0 for 4 from the field. A couple of them been a little bit flat, a little offline with the shot tonight. But he helps you in so many other ways with the rebounds, the assists. Those will start falling.
Quisenberry, left wing. One dribble, gives to Waljasper. Ball Jasper to Monson. Right wing three is short. And the ball is loose, tapped around, kind of like a pinball. And Dixie State comes out with it. It's Frank Stain. Stain to Pagan-Koff, left wing. Plenty of time here. Jack driving into the lane, kicks to the corner. Newbold for three, right corner. It's short. Still about 18 seconds on the shot clock, and a 7-point lead, probably a little too early.
Yeah, if you're going to build on this lead, you've got to use some time, get a high percentage shot. That time was a good look, just too early in the shot clock.
You're under 4, media timeout coming on the next whistle. Quisenberry will hand off, trying to hand off to Jake Connor, and the ball is tapped out of bounds. No foul called. Tapped out of bounds. Westminster will maintain possession. Dixie State a 32-25 lead. 3:53 until halftime. Take the 1-minute break and come back to the Burns Arena on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
.353 to go until the halftime break. Dixie State a 32-25 in a back-and-forth game, but the Trailblazers holding on to a game-high lead of 7. Eric Segmiller, Mike Olson, Devin Dixon with you on this Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you're out there listening to this game and watching. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving with friends and family. Maybe you did some Black Friday shopping. As you you were probably in line Thanksgiving night, weren't you, Mike?
Maybe.
I was not, but I was Black Friday over broadcasting live at UNA Golf, and they had some great deals, so I did slip a couple golf accessories into my bag.
There you go. J.J. Eli.
Now, my wife, I can't speak for her. She was definitely out shopping.
He'll swing it left side, Connor. Inside. Here's Willardson. His shot is blocked out of bounds by Jared Green. What a block.
That was a great contest. Straight up, very vertical. You can see both guys gathered themselves. Green straight up, tracking the ball. As soon as it left his hands, been able to get his big old paw out there. Great block shot.
Just 4 seconds left on the shot clock. It'll be Monson to trigger, baseline right side. Looking into War, touch pass Eli, down to 3 and 2 and a 1, and an air ball from Jake Connor as he had to just chuck it up off balance from 30 feet away, and Dixie State will force the turnover.
You know, great defensive possession there by Dixie State. That's when they want. When you talk about Coach Judkins wanting to win battles, this last 4 minutes of this half, he would love to see his team put 3 to 4 great defensive stops together.
Pagan-Koff driving inside, a no-look pass, wraparound pass to Jared Green. The shot is no good. Cameron Chatwin putback tap is no good. And here come the Griffins. 3:10 remaining until the break in a 32-25 Trailblazer lead. The lob to Willardson. And back off to War. Over to Monson. Monson fakes the handoff to Connor and then loses it out of bounds. A turnover. Good defense by Dixie State. Trailblazers will have it back just under 3 to go until the break.
Yeah, and they're approaching over 3 minutes, 40 seconds. The Griffins have not scored here. Dixie State hasn't scored in about 3:15, so both teams kind of cooling off here, and the defense kind of picking up, and both teams some uncharacteristic turnovers here.
Pagan-Koff, the young blood, back to Jack, 1 dribble, 3 ball left corner, and it's good.
Only a matter of time before he got that stroke going. Really patient, let it go right off the fingertips, nothing but the bottom.
Dixie State by 10, 35-25, and a foul on the other end, and a 20-6 run for the Trailblazers.
And how about the three-point shooting? 4 of the last 5 field goals are three-point makes for Dixie State right now after that Pagan-Koff hit. Stain's got 13. And then behind him, everybody's just kind of chipping in. He's been the leading scorer, but everybody else is kind of doing some nice things to complement him.
Fouls against Pagankoff. J.J. Eli will make the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll have one more. Eli, all 3 points have come from the stripe here in the first half. And he misses the second free throw off the left end. Cameron Chatwin the rebound. Gives to Pagankoff.
And we talked about how important the rebounding battle is. 1 rebound separating these two teams right now thus far. Westminster has a 19-18 edge.
Stain looking inside. Passes tip taken away. A turnover for Dixie State. That'll be turnover number 2 of the half for the Trailblazers. Eli will turn it right back over. Cameron Chatwin the steal in the lane. Outlet pass to Pagankoff. Just ahead to Stain, back to Jack. Jack will whip it inside Jared Green. His shot is blocked from behind, but into the hands of Youngblood. Whip it to Stain, catch and shoot, 3 right wing, and it is good. Frank Stain feeling it tonight. A game-high 16 for the freshman.
He's not playing like a freshman. He is really stepping up when his team needs him the most. Great first half by Frank Stain.
38-26. Dixie State by 12, and 1:39 to go until halftime. And that'll get the fans excited. They throw out free t-shirts every time Dixie State makes a 3. And there's a 3-pointer for Jake Connor. He's got 9 points and 3 threes for Westminster, and the lead is 9. 38-29. Pagankoff inside, and he is bumped by J.J. Eli on his way to the bucket. That's team foul number 5.
Well, and if you look at the scoring output in the first half, already 38 points, that bodes well. Dixie State's averaging almost 87 points a game. They scored 100 a couple games ago. Westminster's only scoring about 71. So Dixie State, comfortable lead right now, and they're shooting it well from, I mean, 3 for everybody. Their threes are falling from every angle, Olsen.
They're hitting them.
Pagankoff has it on the inbounds pass. We'll leave it with Josh Newbold, and he loves that mid-ranger. Free throw line, a jumper is good for Newbold. He's got 8.
Can't say enough about how Jack Pagankoff is getting everybody involved. It's not just one person. He's seeing the floor very well right now.
Yeah, Newbold 2 points away from a season average. He's been very solid with 8 points tonight.
War will leave it with Willardson. To the right corner, back to War. Can't get it to go, but he'll get 2 free throws. He's fouled on his way to the bucket. And it will be Cameron Chatwin picking it up.
And I love that Chatwin went and extended his arm down and helped him up. Good sportsmanship there. After, was it a block, was it a foul? Well, it was called a foul, so not going to get mad about it, going to help your opponent up.
Brandon Ward to the free throw line, where he is just a 46% free throw shooter, believe it or not. He bounces that one in.
You got to believe he'll get that up as the season progresses. He's such a physical player, though.
War with that make is now 12 for 25 from the free throw line.
Dixie doing a better job, you see, on that possession, making War put it on the floor a little bit. The closeouts are a little bit tighter and not allowing him to get that catch-and-shoot jumper that he was so successful with the first half.
11 points for War, and Dixie State's lead is trimmed to 9, 40-31, 43 seconds remaining. Pagankoff leaves it with Youngblood. The jumper is no good. Tapped around into the hands of Jake Connor.
I like that shot, though. You're trying to go 2 for 1 there. It's a right wing, 15-footer, just didn't hit it.
28 seconds on the game, 22 on the shot. 6-second differential. Into the corner, Monson. Now to Willardson, right wing. Puts it on the floor, may have got away with a travel. Will float it with the right hand, no good. Cameron Chatwin, the rebound. And Dixie State going to call a timeout. And Pagankoff lucky he didn't get called for a travel because the first referee did not see him asking for the timeout. He picked up the dribble.
It was actually a double dribble, wasn't it?
They do award him the timeout. It'll be a full timeout. It's a use it or lose it timeout. 15.2 seconds left. We're right before the halftime break, so let's keep it right here. We'll remind you that timeouts are brought to you by Dairy Queen tonight and all season long. What do you want to see? Devin, let's go to you on this final possession for Dixie State. You're up by 9. You've got 9 seconds to set up a good look here. What would you like to see coming out of this huddle?
Well, it depends on how they want to try to defend Jack Pagankoff, but you start with the ball in his hands, and then, if they're going to send some extra help, you get it to Dason and let them try to create and then get a kick. Frank Stain, if you can free him up on another 3 here to end the half and go up double digits, you'll take it. He's been hot, 16 points. He's 4 of 4 from downtown so far in the half. So you can put your 2 creators on the floor, let them create, and then try to get Frank maybe an open look.
That's right. As much as these teams know each other, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Judkins is bringing out the play that he drew on a napkin from Chili's earlier today that nobody's seen yet. You know, he's had that one tucked in his pocket. You'll probably see a completely different set by the Trailblazers to get a good look.
What are you talking about? This team never eats at Chili's. He's got like 3 different restaurants as his go-to restaurant. I've been on the road with them enough. Interestingly enough, during the timeout, Norm Parrish was arguing with the official. He said, hey, it's not a timeout until you blow the whistle. He wanted the turnover
I think he had a pretty
against
good point,
Pagenkopf. Yeah. 10 seconds remaining. We are back in play. Pagenkopf with it. Dribbles to the left with 5 seconds now. Back to the right, inside, hanging, laying it up, no. Tip put back, Newbold, no. And that will end the first half of play.
That's the shot you want, though. Nobody was on that right wing to kick, so he had to take a really extended finger roll. Almost got it to drop off the window, and then a couple chances there to tip it in. But both teams playing with a lot of energy. You can tell this is the conference opener for both these teams.
Yeah, a lot on the line.
Dixie State a 40-31 lead. Mike, let's go to you. Let's some quick hitter thoughts on the first half before we take the long break and then really dissect it inside our Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. But quick hitter thoughts from what you've seen over the first 20 minutes of basketball.
Great adjustments defensively. Westminster got hot, knocked down some three-pointers that really changed the game early. Dixie responded and really took the ball out of the shooter's hands and made some good adjustments on the defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, they held the Griffins to 29%. They took 18 threes, only hit 6 of them. Meanwhile, Dixie State red hot. This team can shoot it from downtown, led by Frank Stain. But, I mean, you go 6 of 11, very efficient from the three-point line. But, you know, that's not all they did. They were really putting the ball in Jack's hands. He was making some great decisions. He had 4 helpers. Youngblood had 4 helpers in the first half. I like the unselfishness of this team in the first half.
Dixie State a 40-31 lead. Those are some quick hitter thoughts for you. Let's step away. We'll take the full 3-minute halftime break. When we come back, we'll start to dissect this one, really break it down inside the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. 3-minute timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You know, we may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand.
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or 1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. It is halftime. We welcome you inside the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Carrick Sangwiller, Mike Olson, and Devin Dixon with you on the Triple Cast tonight. Of course, ESPN Radio 97.7 FM on the big station tonight. And happy to be on the airwaves as well. CEC TV, TDS Cable Channel 108, the high-definition version on Channel 108, as well as the Dixie State Stretch Internet portal online. That's portal.stretchinternet.com/Dixie State. Or you can just head over to DixieStateAthletics.com and click on the live video link. That's probably a lot easier to do than try to remember that mouthful. But we are live on all three spots, and it is the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. The Trailblazers leading 40-31. It was a 20-10 run for the Trailblazers to finish that one after trailing at one point 19-15 early in that half. And we mentioned it before the break, and you mentioned it, Devin, right after Westminster had taken the 19-15 lead, that, hey, this game's a game of runs. Coach Judkins is really good at adjusting, and sure enough, they adjusted on some things. They didn't leave so many open threes. Brandon Warr, had a few more three-point attempts and did finish the half with 11 points, but after he hit 3 threes, bang, 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 they adjusted. Westminster cooled off a little bit, and then Dixie State was able to settle in and play its game and get hot from the outside and lead 40-31. So, Mike, you mentioned that Dixie State would need to make adjustments in order to be successful in this game because of how well the two teams know each other already. They were able to do that midway through the first half, and that's why they lead by 9 at the half.
Yeah, I thought it was a great half. I think if Coach Judkins has got to feel really good about where his team's at and the effort that his team gave him that first half. Great job with effort. I love their energy. They just played with such great energy. Jack Pagenkoff grabbing rebounds, just going. Whoever got the rebounds was going. I thought there were great minutes off the bench. Green came in, played with a lot of energy. Just a quality first half for Dixie State.
And I thought that there was a couple things that stood out to me. One was the turnovers. Dixie State only had a couple in that half. Really sharp early in the season. That's why they're undefeated, and that's why they're leading at the half, not making a lot of mental errors, which is interesting because you got some young guys on this roster that are playing some significant minutes, guys like Frank Stain, but like you said earlier in the broadcast, Mike, he doesn't look like a freshman in any way, shape, or form. I was very impressed. 16 points for him and just really fluid with his release from downtown in that first half. And Dixie State, so efficient from the three-point line. I liked how they defended in the block, going straight up on a couple. I know they always didn't get the block, but they really contested the Griffins in the lane. And then Jack and Dayson both did an incredible job of dribble drive, getting into the lane. That's one of the keys that I thought was going to be really important for Coach Parrish in Westminster, was to keep those guys out of the lane a little bit, because when they get in the lane, you got to pick your poison. And sometimes it was those guys finishing or getting a mid-range jumper for a teammate. Other times it was a wraparound pass or a kick to the corner for a great look at three. And obviously Dixie State shooting 54.5% from downtown in the first half, and that's why they're leading.
That's big.
Devin mentioned Trailblazers shooting 54% from beyond the arc, 6 of 11. And it's been, and Mike's heard me say this a couple of times, and certainly you've been watching, the stream or even here in person in the game. This is our first broadcast with you this season, so really my first chance to ask you about it. And I've talked to Mike about this, but it seems like this year, with more shooters on the floor, this Dixie State team is taking a lot more threes each game than what we've seen in the past few seasons. You've had maybe one or two weapons. Now there's a lot of guys out there that can shoot it, and Coach Judkins has got to be happy to have those weapons out there and a bunch of different guys that can shoot that three-point shot.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have that pure dominant big like you've had the last couple of seasons. And Coach Judkins, when I was chatting with him on my show before the season, he said, I've adjusted my play calling. I've adjusted our sets to more fit the persona and the strengths of my players. And for so many years, it was Juddy's system, and it worked, and he would recruit those kind of kids. Well, now you're going into the WAC in the future. You're recruiting a little bit of a different player. You're trying to stay big, but you want speed and athleticism. When you're, in the future playing teams like, New Mexico State, who's a powerhouse in the WAC, and you got to deal with, Utah Valley and all these other teams. And I think they still got the size. They go 6'7", 6'8", 6'8", but those guys have athletic ability, and they've got a little bit of a stretch four persona, and so you really open up the spacing a little bit more, and that leads to creativity from your guard line, and you're seeing a guy like Jack Pagenkoff, really, Dason Youngblood, reap the benefits of that spacing. So credit to Coach Judkins for, being creative with his sets and his play calling and be willing to adapt to his players this year. This is kind of an overhauled roster, as you know, Carrick. Yeah. I mean, other than Pagenkoff and Chatwin and a couple of guys coming back, a lot of these guys hadn't played together. But now you're, a few games into the season, the chemistry is looking really, really good.
And it is a tribute and a credit to what Coach Judkins does as the leader of this team, because after we found out that Matt Conway wasn't coming back,
right.
Zach Frampton wasn't coming back, those are going to be two seniors and two of your top players. All of a sudden you're going, okay, now we've got some major question marks about what this men's basketball team is going to be this year, and here we are in Game 6 in a team that's humming right along and playing really well, and if you didn't know that these guys had only been together 6 games, and the Division II calendar is so much different than the Division I calendar. They only had maybe 10, 11, 12 practices before they started playing games, and to be able to be clicking the way they are right now is a credit to how these guys are coached and how they've bought in to the system that they're running this year, and fighting. It's their last year in D2, last season in the RMAC. They want to leave their mark, so they didn't have time for a rebuild. They had to reload, and let's do this now.
Well, and the interesting thing, like you pointed out when we were starting our broadcast, is they've been playing in the same tournaments as Westminster. They've seen each other all season long to this point.
All their opponents are common opponents.
Right, so there's no secrets at this point. Plus, they're in-state rivals. They know each other so well. That tells me that Juddy's guys just executed a little bit better in the first half, because there's not a lot of secrets. You just got to go out there and just win those individual battles and play collectively as a unit, and Dixie State did that, and that's why they've got the 40-31 lead. Though still a lot of work to be done. If you're Coach Parrish right now, you're pleased because you're not shooting great. You're only 30% from the field, and yet you're only down by 9 on the road. 9 points in a college basketball game is not too many to overcome if you can get hot. And we saw this team start hot and then cool off a little bit. So Dixie State's going to have to continue to weather those storms. I thought they did a really good job of making them work for their three-point shots as the first half wore on, and Ward had to put it on the bounce a little bit more and try to get to the free throw line. So there was some adjustments like Mike was talking about that were definitely made, and more chalk talk going on right now in the break as well between these two longtime coaches.
Well, we mentioned earlier, right before we went to break, we mentioned that Dixie State only turned the ball over 2 times in that first half. And defensively, they forced 6 turnovers. And get this, you forced 6 turnovers and you've scored 12 points off of turnovers. So, Mike, Dixie State has scored after every turnover that you forced. That's got to make Coach Judkins happy.
Yeah, that's a stat that he's really going to like. I've heard him mention a few times that he's liked the ball pressure. And Westminster, they really want to move the ball side to side. We talked about that high post offense that they run out of their high post. So when they're kicking it out and they're looking to get it back, you've got to put pressure on them, make that pass hard. And it really disrupted the flow and their offensive sets. So I think he's happy with his defense, but he knows that Coach Parrish is going to draw something up. He's going to make changes to his offense, and he's going to rely on some of his playmakers. So, they'll come out with a different defensive strategy, and we'll see if it works.
Dixie State a 40-31 lead. We can give you a few more. The Trailblazers 44% from the field, 54% from the outside. How about this for an offense that, and this is just another, sign of Coach Judkins kind of structuring his offense to what he's got, but he still is not going to like this. He wants to be shooting a ton of free throws. Trailblazers doesn't take a single free throw in the first half, and that's something that Coach Judkins will preach. We've got to get to the free throw line. We did a good job, but I'm sure he's in there saying we've got to get to the free throw line. And, it wasn't for a lack of trying. It wasn't that they weren't inside at all. Everything almost was inside out, even on the three-point attempts, but look for Dixie State to try to get to the free throw line here in the second half.
Yeah, they had 14 points in the paint, but again, Juddy's kind of adjusted and went to more of a spacing game with the talent he's got this year, and it's got a little bit more of a free-flowing offense, and so you're not just trying to get it down on the block and let your big go one-on-one, and when they have went down one-on-one, they've you saw Newbold and Schofield go to the baby hooks and hit those mid-range jumpers. They're not trying to get all the way to the rack and dunk on people. And that's playing to your strengths as an individual player, knowing where your spots are on the floor, where you're most comfortable to try to score the basketball.
Well, Dixie hasn't had to stray too far away from their fast break offense. They haven't really got into. There hasn't been a need to run their half-court offenses that first half. They didn't need to. They were successful in their fast break. You know, Coach Judkins runs this early offense where the offense starts as soon as the fast break starts, and it transitions into an offense. So it's not a half-court set that you're going to see a lot of, and so it's really helped the flow for Dixie State.
Trailblazers a 40-31 lead. That'll do it for the Seven Oaks Jewelers halftime report. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout. Come right back with the second half. Trailblazers leading by 9. Back in 30 on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. Welcome inside the Burns Arena. Dixie State a 40-31 halftime lead as the time ticks away on the halftime break. And we are set for second half action inside the Burns Arena. The fans having a good time. It's the dance cam. Of course, this Dixie State crowd a lot to cheer about with a 40-31 lead. But guys, a lot of work to be done in this final 20 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep winning, as Juddy always preaches, those 4-minute battles. These first 4 minutes is really going to kind of show us who's going to throw the first punch, who's made some adjustments, who's heeding the coach's adjustments, and who's bringing the energy into half number 2.
On the floor for Dixie State to start the second half, Newbold, Pagankoff, Youngblood, Stain, and Schofield. They go back to the starters in this one. Mike, were you going to say something? I feel like I kind of cut you off there.
No, I just think looking at Westminster's lineup right there, definitely a size advantage for Dixie State. So I would not be shocked if they just pound the ball inside.
Pagankoff inside. He's going to get called for an offensive foul. And he doesn't like it, but Coach Judkins said, look, you extended the arm. You deserve that foul call.
And if you can lip read, Jack saying, I didn't really extend my arm. You know, and I could kind of feel like he didn't really go. We've seen a lot worse than that. But, you know, they'll call it tight on the first play.
Turnover for Dixie State on the first possession of the second half. Here comes Westminster the other way. 19:40 to go. Just 20 seconds gone by. Trailblazers by 9. Here's Connor. Over to Eli. Westminster also has its original starting 5 on the floor. Monson. And he pushed off inside. Jack Pagankoff gets called for an offensive foul, then draws one on the other end.
Hey, you talk about making adjustments. That's how we're going to play the second half? Okay.
Well, at least they're looking for that out of the break. I guess we know what the adjustments were for the officials.
That's right, yeah.
Pagankoff to set things up for Dixie State will bounce inside, trying to force it into Schofield, and that's probably the first bad pass he's made all night. It's tipped and taken away. Brandon War. We gave to Tavanainen. Back to War. Gets past Schofield. Jump step into the lane. Cross-court pass. Swings it to Eli. Drives inside. And he missed it. Good defense by Josh Newbold to get up and disrupt the shot. Here come the Trailblazers. Pagankoff will pull up. Right junction. No. And the rebound to Tavanainen and Westminster. Neither team able to find the bottom of the bucket in the first minute and a half of the second. Tavanainen, right side to Monson. Dribbles to the free throw line, stops the dribble, gives to Ward, 10 to shoot. Ward trying to get inside, path cut up by Pagankoff, turns around, floats it, can't get it to go. Pagankoff the rebound. Jack in transition, his shot is blocked by Monson, and then War traveled and he elbowed Dason Youngblood in the face.
Yeah, trying to clear that rebound, and he swung those arms just a little bit. But Jack probably tries to go Euro step here, and that's well defended. Block is clean initially, but then Ward tries to get tied up, and kind of some incidental contact there. I don't think there was anything malicious there by Ward.
No, he got him pretty good. You know, his elbows were high, but it looked like it was kind of a basketball play. Unfortunately, it caught him right on the nose, but Youngblood jumped right back into it.
They'll bounce inside Newbold. Holding it. He'll reverse from right to left and score it. What a play. 42-31, Trailblazers by 11.
Newbold's really developed some great low block moves. I mean, just great drop step there to go wrap around and finish off the glass with a little kiss.
17:55 to go. War deep to right side. He missed it. He knew it right from the release. Trailblazers the rebound. Here's Youngblood into the corner. Pagenkopf drives the baseline left side into Schofield. Good look. Schofield's fouled. 2 free throws on the way for Hunter Schofield.
And it sounded like Juddy wanted Jack Pagenkopf to go ahead and take it. Take that corner 3, but little slip pass down the lane and you get to the foul line. I don't think that's a bad decision there by Jack at all.
Not at all. And Jack, he's made a couple of adjustments. Or you saw earlier in this half him bringing the ball up on that fast break and getting to the elbow. This time coming around on the wing to kind of create some space for guys to fill those lanes, and that's exactly what Schofield did. He was able to find that lane and wait for the timing to get that pass from Jack.
Boys, Jack fit in here. I mean, he's from New York, but he went to Casper, then he went to Howard College, and now he's really found a home here in St. George at Dixie State.
Schofield splits the free throws, and Dixie State a 43-31 lead, 17:30 remaining. Monson, pump fake, gets Youngblood off his feet, hands off Tavanainen. Quickly to War. War, dribble handoff to Eli. Eli to Monson, steps into a 3 straight away. No, kind of forced it thinking he might be able to get some contact and a foul call. Referees say nope. They'll pass it ahead. Dixie State, Parker for 3 left corner, and he's good.
He's like old Vinnie Johnson. They put him in the microwave. He doesn't get a lot of minutes, but he comes in. He did it in the first half when he got into the game. He did it again right there, hitting an open 3.
And Monson driving inside. He made the runner. They're going to wave off the shot and say that Josh Newbold fouled him on the way to the bucket. Dixie State coaches were arguing for a travel. They're going to call a foul on the ground against Josh Newbold.
You know, that's a play that they're going to see in film session all week. Great job defending the on-ball screen. Completely changed the direction and flow of that play.
16:55 to go. Approaching the under 16 media timeout. Here's Connor for 3. Right side, no. A whistle and a foul underneath the basket. And it's going to be Leighton Parker on a loose ball foul. And Westminster will maintain the possession. Should just be a 20-second shot clock. Well, no, shot had just been missed, so 30 seconds. Fresh 30 for the Griffins. Monson will trigger baseline left into Eli. Eli to Tavanainen. Lowering the shoulder, he ran over Hunter Schofield. And they're going to say that Schofield was not set, either that or he was in the restricted area. The foul will go against Schofield.
Well, Schofield's giving ground, then he takes the bump, kind of loses his balance. Whether he's trying to sell it or not, that's the question mark from the official. But, you know, that's one of those plays where Schofield's just giving ground, moving with the ball. I don't know. I don't know how you – one of those no calls, in my opinion.
Yep. Tavanainen will make the first free throw. He's got 3.
But Tavanainen really complements War, doesn't he? They're both really physical. Good. They both, you know, want to attack the rim. Obviously, War a better three-point shooter and all-around scorer, but this kid works hard down low.
Tavanainen will make both free throws. Westminster 0 for 5 from the field in the second half. Dixie State is 2 for 4. And it's a 46-33 Trailblazer lead, 16:30 to go. Youngblood will lob it in Newbold. He catches and he's fouled.
You know, Josh Newbold, I mean, you know, he redshirted here. Obviously, Coach Schroeder, who was at Bingham High School, former assistant. Now he's back as assistant. I'm sure him and Juddy had a lot of conversations about this kid, but he's been in the program. Last year did some nice things, but really ready to make some strides this season. You can see he's really started to polish his game.
And really taking advantage of the opportunity that he got. He wasn't getting a ton of minutes the first couple of games, and then you know, a game or two ago, as he misses the first free throw, a game or two ago, really, you know, broke out of that shell and had a great game, 20-point game, and then performed well again in Salt Lake last weekend. He splits the free throws.
Yeah, the one area where they want a little more production is probably from Newbold in the rebounding department. Came in only 2.8 rebounds a game. And at 6'7", that's something that he can get better at. But as far as the scoring goes, I mean, averaging 10 a night, starting to get more and more comfortable. He's a nice player.
Again, splits the free throws, does Newbold. He's got 11, and it's a 14-point Dixie State lead, 47-33, 16:15 remaining. Approaching the under 16 media. Here's War. Three-point land straight away, dribbles to the free throw line, finds Tavanainen, 8 to shoot. Backing in on Schofield, and he's fouled from behind. by Andre Wilson. Trying to come from the help side, got him on the arm with just 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, and that's his third foul. And Tavanainen does a nice job spinning away from Schofield, but Schofield's there in defensive position. Andre did not have to reach there. Kind of got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
That's frustrating. You can see it in Andre's face. He knows that picking up another foul like that, it's hard to get into a rhythm. You know, it's really tough for him to find his groove when he keeps getting whistled for those fouls.
Yeah, and I like this. Juddy going to let him play through it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, he only got a couple of minutes in the first half, so at this point, you got to see if you can leave him in there and get something going. Tavanainen misses the first one and the second, and then there's Josh Newbold right on cue. Goes up and gets a rebound. 47-33, Dixie State the lead. We're under 16. Media timeout coming next whistle. Parker thought about a three, deep three straight away. Instead, passes over to Pagenkopf, right wing. Back to Parker, back to Pagenkopf. They play hot potato with it. 12 to shoot. Jack hesitates, now drives inside, and a good helper for Schofield. It's stripped out of his hands, but he catches and puts it back up and in.
Great job sticking with it. You know, he got a shot block, but able to find the ball and go back up very strong. Great move by Schofield.
15:25 to go. Dixie State a game-high lead of 16, 49-33. And what do we got? A travel.
Yeah, that pivot foot as he stopped and planned just slid a little bit. And a turnover there by Westminster.
Dixie State leading at 49-33, 15:21 to go, second half. We take the 60-second timeout. Come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
We mentioned it a few minutes ago. We'll mention it again. Westminster 0 for 5 from the field in the second half. They do have 2 free throws. On the other hand, Dixie State is 3 for 6 from the field. They've made a 3. They've got a couple of free throws, and they lead at 49-33.
Well, the defense holding Westminster to only 2 points this half. Very strong start in the second half defensively for the Trailblazers.
And Dixie State with possession here.
And War has started 0 for 2, so he's got to find that touch. And Connor, who was 3 of 3 in the first half, he's 0 for 1 in the second half.
Andre Wilson inside. He'll get it to go off the window.
And that's why you leave him in, even though he gets the third foul. You got to let him try to catch, as you said, Mike. Get a little rhythm going. Nice little hang floater off the window, and down it goes.
51-33. Brandon Ward forcing a 3 to try to answer the other way. Dixie State will take the rebound. Pagenkopf behind the back dribble. 14:45 to go. Dixie State a 51-33 lead. Pagenkopf dribbling all the way to the left side, and he traveled. Started about the right elbow, dribbled around to the baseline left side, got cut off, and he traveled.
Now, how about 8 boards for Jack? And when your point guard is grabbing rebounds, good things usually happen. That was an aberration, though, with the travel.
But he loves the long rebound. He likes to grab it and go.
But he likes to float low.
Yeah.
He doesn't release like some point guards. He stays down in the key most often.
Well, he's the game's leading rebounder with 8.
Jonas Tavanainen for Westminster, backing in on Chatwin. Mid-post right side, swings to Connor. Touch pass to Eli, around the horn into the left corner. 3 on the way, that was Monson. No good, but offensive rebound War. He'll dish inside. Tavanainen will lay it up and in. The first field goal for Westminster comes at the 14-10 mark.
Yeah, nearly a 4-minute drought from the field. But
and an illegal screen the other way, going to be called against Cameron Chatwin. So a bucket, now a turnover, and Westminster starting to think, hey, maybe we can turn this thing around still.
Well, you can see Jack slowing down just enough for waiting for his teammate Chatwin to come down the middle of the floor, and he was trying to just go right off of Chatwin's butt right there. Just come hard off of that. Not a screen, but just kind of a running
up.
screen.
Yeah.
Pagan Koff will knock the ball away from Eli, and he's going to get called for a touch foul 40 feet from the basket on the D logo. He doesn't like it. Nobody likes it. It'll be his 3rd foul. Gets the tip.
Not a lot
there's
there.
nothing. There's nothing there. And that's 17 fouls against Dixie State already, and a 1-and-1 for J.J. Eli.
Eli kind of does do a rip through with the ball to create a little bit of contact, but nothing there initiated by Jack.
Especially not 45 feet away from the basket.
My goodness. We're going to see it again.
The left hand is reaching in a little, and then he rips through to kind of force a little bit of contact. I can see where the outside official who blew it thought he saw a little more contact than there really was.
Both free throws are good for Eli, and a 51-37. Dixie State lead 13:48 to play. Pagan Koff will spin inside, kicks it back out. Wilson, catch and shoot. 3 straight away. Thank you very much, says Andre Wilson. He's got back-to-back buckets, and Dixie State by 17.
8 for 13. Trailblazers really shooting it well from beyond the three-point stripe tonight.
And a lot of fans going home happy with the tees for threes. Promotion continuing tonight. J.J. Eli throw out a T-shirt on every successful three-pointer for Dixie State. Now to War, driving inside with 6 to shoot, and he'll get it to go high off the window.
Not an easy shot by Brandon War. They're going to need more of that.
Leighton Parker had an open 3, passed it up, and he's fouled by Alec Monson. Good decision by the freshman. He thought, you know, I'll pass up maybe a good shot. Maybe we can find a better shot. Instead of forcing up a quick 3, gets inside and draws a foul.
Tell you what I love about that possession, though, is that even on a made basket, Dixie got the ball out of the net so quick and got up the floor so fast that they were still running that fast break offense on a made basket. So
it just puts a lot of pressure on the Griffins defensively from start to finish tonight.
They've had a hard time defending that fast break offense.
Youngblood will bounce into Jared Green, gets away from him, but he's able to chase it down in the right corner. Here's Youngblood. Step back, jumper, baseline right side, no. Brandon War the rebound, and Dayson saying, hey, where's that same foul that J.J. Eli got on the other end? There's Wall Jasper for Westminster, just checked back in. One-on-one with Frank Stain, knocked out of his hands by Youngblood. They hit the deck, but Westminster keeps it. Eli into the corner, Monson will shoot a 3, right corner, and it's good. Westminster starting to heat up a little bit, lead down to 12, 54-42, 12:20 to go.
Yeah, that breaks 0 for 4 start from the three-point line in the second half for the Griffins.
Getting in one of those streaks. You know, we talked about it. They can be very streaky.
Dixie State pick and roll the other way. Chatwin sets the screen for Stain, and Frank finds him back to the bucket, and it's good for Cameron Chatwin.
And I love how Cameron waited to the last second to put it up off the window, so there was no block from the backside. And you see Dixie State getting on the floor, trying to create turnovers.
And they've still not signaled what the call is on the other end. Bodies hit the deck. The ball was
tied
tied up. It's going to be a jump ball. There's the signal finally.
But
and the arrow stays with Westminster.
That's that intensity. You know, both teams tried to demonstrate that they want it more, but Dixie State in the second half is kind of slowly imposed their will and getting more of those 50-50 loose ball hustle plays.
We're under 12. Media timeout coming next whistle. Tavanainen to Monson. Three-point land straight away to War, lobbing inside Tavanainen. And he's fouled by Cameron Chatwin. And Jonas Tavanainen has made a living from the free throw line here in the second half.
Yeah, and that's where you miss a guy like a Julian Decree from last year down there in the low block. You don't have quite as much size, but you know, the Griffins aren't a huge team either. Something to watch as the season moves on and you start matching up against some 6'11", 7-foot type centers in the RMAC.
11:45 to go. Dixie State a 56-42 lead. Let's take the 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network. 11:45 to play. Jonas Tavanainen has set up camp at the free throw line here in the second half. This is his second or third or fourth trip to the free throw line here in the second half, as you get to see on the TV side the end of the kiss cam. Tavanainen, the first free throw rims out. 56-42, Dixie State the lead.
Yeah, I like it. You know, he's not filling up the box score. He's 2 out of 3, 6 points, 204 now 205 from the line, got 4 rebounds, but he seems to be really playing hard and trying to attack and trying to, you know, fight right now and help his team go on a little run here against the Trailblazers. I like how he's aggressive in the low block and tries to get to the line. Now he's got to prove the free throw shooting. He does make the second one there.
Makes his second one, and then we'll check out as Brandon Willardson comes in. Dixie State, 13-point lead, trying to improve to 6-0 overall and win the RMAC opener.
Probably a good decision here to put a little pressure on Dixie State, but that can backfire.
Trailblazers able to break the full court pressure, and they'll set the offense up with 15 to shoot. Youngblood, skip past Frank Stain for 3, right wing, no, but he gets his own rebound, will drive inside, lays it up, no, offensive foul.
Yeah, good
now, hold
look.
on, who's going to... Yeah, it's going to be an offensive foul.
A really good look. And then he gets his own rebound, and then probably should have just went right back up with it instead of trying to take that power dribble and get a little closer to go with a little floater. Still, though, Juddy loves those offensive rebounds. It was a good look from 3. You'll live with that foul.
Yep, absolutely.
11:15 remaining, second half. Dixie State a 13-point lead, led by as many as 17. Here in the second, Monson with 14 to shoot to the right side, and Eli. Shot clock at 10. Will bounce to Monson. 3-point land straight away. Shot clock to 6. To War. 3-ball straight away. A fadeaway, and he knocks it in.
That's not an easy shot, folks. Fade away, straight away, nothing but nylon.
Yeah, you don't want to see him get going right now. I mean, 10-point game. He's the last guy you want to see get hot.
10:40 remaining. Dixie State a 56-46 lead. Here's Wilson. Will bounce into Chatwin, guarded by War. Cameron puts it on the floor, spinning to the baseline, and he trips and falls and steps out of bounds, turns it over.
Well, Cameron's playing hard, but just a little bit out of control on a couple of possessions. Had that nice finish at the rim earlier, but goes to a spin move and just kind of over-attacks the spin move and loses the footing. I couldn't tell if he stepped on the ankle or just slipped.
Yeah, looks like he got a flat tire right there. You know, just something happened with his foot, just didn't
Something
feel
gave
right.
out.
Yeah.
And in his defense, I mean, you're trying to go with that quick spin to create that advantage and the separation from the defender.
Jack Pagankoff quickly back into the ball game. Josh Newbold's back in as well. Wall Jasper has it for Westminster at the right elbow. 15 to shoot. Swing to J.J. Eli. Eli bounces to Willardson with 8. Top of the key, Wall Jasper. One-on-one with Pagankoff. Free throw line jumper banks and rims out. Dixie State the rebound. Here's Pagankoff. Swinging it right side. Youngblood, and he is fouled.
You know, not much bench points again. Wall Jasperson can't connect there. That's his first shot of the game. I mean, most of the production from the Griffins is coming from the starting lineup.
And that's been their calling card all year long. Once you get past those first 5 guys, maybe 6 guys, there's a big drop-off in scoring production.
Under 10 minutes here. This is big for Dixie to go on a little bit of a run. You do not want Westminster to be hanging around. As fast as they can put points on the board, the next few minutes are going to be huge.
Youngblood will catch, gives to Newbold, and gets it right back. He'll swing it left side, Pagankoff. Comes off a screen set by Newbold, looks inside, nothing there. We'll give to Schofield. Dribble handoff, Stain, right wing, bounces inside, entry pass to Schofield. He's one-on-one with Willardson on the right side. Gets into the paint, left-hand hook shot is in.
Well, there's your leading scorer doing what your leading scorer should do, right? Averaging 17 a night, going to a little baby drop step with the left hand. Solid gold.
58-46, Dixie State by 12, 9:20 remaining.
Dixie switching to a 2-3 zone to try to throw Westminster off balance a little bit.
Wall Jasper. Top of the key, Eli. Couple of dribbles into the paint, runs over Schofield. Offensive foul. The basket is good, but wipe it off the board as J.J. Eli ran over Hunter Schofield.
Well, that's the advantage of going to the zone, Mike, is you've got time to slide over. Now, was he still moving? That's a tough call, but home crowd loving it they get the whistle.
We'll take it.
Yeah, gutsy call by Coach Judkins. You know, Westminster's got 3 great shooters on the floor to go to a zone right there. Really threw them off and paid off for him.
9:04 remaining. Dixie State a 12-point lead. Can it add to the lead here? Stain, right wing to Pagenkopf. Steps into a 3. Bang!
So smooth. The skip, and Jack Pagenkopf knocks it down, his second triple of the night.
He's just 2 for 9 from the field, but both of those makes have been from beyond the arc. 15-point Dixie State lead, 61-46. 9th 3-point shot of the night for Dixie State. War, baseline left side. He misses. Air ball over the top of the basket. Frank Stain the rebound. Stain to Youngblood. He'll step into a 3 right wing. Thank you very much. And Dixie State, just like that, leads by 17, 63-46.
Ah, they love the 3-shot, 3 for all. Everybody's hitting it tonight from every angle.
And they're going to say it was a long 2. And Westminster will get inside. War will score. He's got 18. So it was a long 2 for Youngblood, and it's a 63-48 Dixie State lead. We are under 8. Media timeout coming next whistle. 3 ball, Pagenkopf right wing. No. Maybe a heat check from that right wing. The rebound goes to Westminster. Eli to Connor. War forced inside. He'll hang and hit at the bucket.
Great
He's
body.
got 20.
Great body control to catch, go away from the defender, and then back to the right just a little bit. Finger roll in the front of the rim. This kid's got a chance to lead the RMAC in scoring potentially this year.
Schofield has it knocked out of his hands, and Westminster the steal. Pass ahead to Connor. Connor whips it into the right corner and right through the hands and the legs of J.J. Eli. The teams trade turnovers, and that brings us to the under 8 media. 7:16 to play. Dixie State 63, Westminster 50. We take the 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, good. You played before, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all state in high school.
Good. Let's run some routes. Give me a post route.
All right, let's do it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the 2nd floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
Dixie State, 60% from the field in the second half, 9 of 15. They're 48% from the field for the game and 56% from downtown, 9 of 16. You'll take that all day long, and the Trailblazers lead it by 13. It stretched it to 17 just a minute ago. A couple of quick buckets by Westminster, but so far Dixie State has done a good job of answering those Westminster runs. Can they do it again here? 7:10 remaining. Trailblazers with possession. Youngblood to Pagenkopf. Pagenkopf on the right wing, rolls off a screen, gives to Andre Wilson, bouncing inside. Newbold on the right block. Backing in on War, gets space, and they're going to say travel. Coach Judkins doesn't agree, but it's going to stand. It'll go back to Westminster.
Did he get it kind of caught on the hip there? But I don't know. A tough call. Did he shuffle the pivot feet? Love to see that one more time. Regardless, they're not going to change the call on the court.
J.J. Eli gives to Willardson. 6:43 remaining as we start to get into the late stages of this ball game. War passes up a deep 3, instead drives inside, and he'll lay it in.
And 8 second-half turnovers has kind of allowed Westminster to kind of slowly but surely get this back within striking distance.
Dayson Youngblood the other way, misses, gets his own rebound. He misses, and a whistle rings out on the 3rd try. We'll go against Alec Monson. And who is it going to the line? Is it
Schofield, I
Youngblood
think.
or Schofield? It's going to be Youngblood.
Okay, they called it on the second putback.
Yeah, on the second putback. Youngblood misses the free throw. Has not been great in the early stages of this season. 53% from the stripe to this point.
And Dixie State as a team, just about 67% on the season coming into tonight.
He misses both, and Westminster take the rebound. He'll try to take advantage. Can cut the lead to single digits with a bucket here. It's a 63-52 Dixie State advantage. 6:08 to play. Willardson to Brandon War. War has it tipped and nearly taken away. Now it is taken away. Newbold's got it. Gives to Youngblood. Youngblood to Wilson. Bounces to Schofield. Schofield kicks to the left corner. Andre Wilson on the way. Too strong. And the rebound to J.J. Eli and the Griffins.
The recovery defense by the Griffins was excellent right there, guys. Forced in a corner, deep three.
Brandon War for three, left corner, no. Check that, make it the left wing. Dixie State the rebound. Pagankoff to Youngblood. And the Trailblazers can take time here. They can be patient and find good looks. Still 18 to shoot on an 11-point lead. Schofield. Kick to the left side. Dason Youngblood, baseline left side jumper is good, and Dixie State will take the timeout after the make, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't force something up in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. Work it around, find your shot, make sure you get a good look.
Yeah, sometimes when you create a hustle turnover, you feel like you want to really get the crowd on your feet instead of kicking it back out, resetting. And you're right, they probably didn't have to take that corner three. But again, credit to Westminster for kind of recovering. And then that next possession we saw right there before the timeout, excellent job. And Youngblood hits that mid-range baseline jumper and knocks it down. He's really come a long way, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trailblazers lead it 65-52. That is the first coach's called timeout of the second half, so they'll stretch it to a full. Let's take just a 30. 5:12 remaining. Dixie State leading 65-52. A 30-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
.512 remaining. Dixie State a 65-52 lead. After the Dason Youngblood jumper from the baseline left side, Coach Judkins takes the timeout and sets up, what they want to do offensively, but certainly what they want to do defensively going forward here and say, let's get some stops and let's close this thing up.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of different strategies right here. The last 5 minutes, both teams are going to be throwing it all on the table.
We're at the 5-minute mark. And J.J. Eli swinging it left side to Monson. Monson to Quisenberry into the left corner. Three ball on the way from Connor. It's tipped around, and Dixie State will have the rebound to give to Pagankoff.
That's the shot Westminster really wanted. Open corner three, just couldn't knock it down.
Pagankoff to Schofield. He'll put it on the floor, drives inside, and missed it. A shot early in the shot clock with a 13-point lead. Westminster the rebound. 4:30 remaining. And a 65-52 advantage for Dixie State. Eli, pump fake right wing, will swing it to Monson, top of the key. And Quisenberry, free throw line, they leave him open. Instead, he'll pass inside, and that was Willardson. Couldn't get it to go. Couldn't see the number there for a minute. Dixie State the rebound. 4:08 remaining. And Dixie State a 13-point lead. 15 to shoot. We are under 4. Immediate timeout coming on the next whistle. Pagankoff, deep to right side, is short. Tapped around. Griffins fighting over the rebound. Bounces into the hands of Schofield, and he'll score with a foul. How about that?
Sometimes when you get an offensive rebound, you just got to go attack mode. Probably could have kicked it out, reset, worked some more clock, but a bucket's better than burning time, I always think. When you're in stretch, when you're in go time down the stretch, that's an aggressive play by Schofield. He's into double digits.
3:50 to go. Dixie State a 15-point lead, 67-52. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
No, I'm not busy right now. Yeah, I can talk.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
.350 remaining. Dixie State a 67-52 lead, and Hunter Schofield, the benefactor of 2 Westminster players fighting over that defensive rebound. It falls into his hands. He scores with a foul and makes the free throw, and a 3-point play for Hunter Schofield. He's got 12, and the Dixie State lead is 16, 68-52.
A little bit of three-quarter court pressure here applied by the Trailblazers.
Dixie State will try to close this one out and win the conference opener. And a foul away from the ball is, I think it's going to be Jacob Nichols. He just checked in during the break and immediately gets on the stat sheet. He says, well, I want to make sure I end up on tonight's stat sheet, and picks up a foul.
Yeah, it's always nice to get off to a good start in conference play, especially when your home opener in conference is in your home arena, cozy confines of the Burns Arena. You're picked second in the conference behind Colorado School of Mines. That just banked in off the free throw.
Oh, my goodness. Brandon Willardson banks in a free throw high off the window. Doesn't matter how it goes through, as long as you get it through. And he just kind of put his head down and walked away and reset, and he'll look to try to splash this one home. And he makes it.
You know, seasons change, players graduate, move on, they come and go. But one thing that always seems to stay the same is Coach Judkins gets 4 or 5 guys in double figures. He just gets balanced scoring.
Very balanced.
Youngblood to Andre Wilson.
You know, Stain had 16 at the half. He hasn't scored in the second half, but you got 3 other guys in double figures now.
And a Dixie State turnover. Wilson was trying to get it to Pagankoff in the corner. He threw it away and out of bounds. 3:13 to play. Still a 14-point game. I mean, crazy things have happened in college basketball. And Dixie State, you can't let up at this point.
Yeah, certainly not flawless on a couple possessions here down the stretch, but still time to close this thing out.
Monson, left wing, 3 on the way, too strong, and Jack Pagankoff going up high and getting the rebound. That's your point guard in there.
That's his 10th, too. 10th board of the night for Jack.
Has it knocked out of his hands from behind on the way back up the floor, and here come the Griffins. Monson. And a whistle and a foul away from the ball again, and it's Andre Wilson.
You don't like to stop the clock and put an opponent on the free throw line where they can inch a little bit closer. But to really fully come back and win this game, the Griffins are going to have to hit a couple threes here down the stretch, and they're going to have to force Dixie State on, multiple, empty possessions on the offensive end.
Westminster going to take a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout, 2:43 remaining, 68-53. Let's take it. 30-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. First free throw for Brandon Willardson is good. And Willardson at the line for one more free throw. Dixie State a 13-point lead, 68-55, 2:43 to go. And Willardson gets them both to go. He'll check out after making those free throws, and it's a 12-point game, 68-56.
Yeah, and Willardson's got all 4 of his points tonight from the stripe. He has not made a field goal.
Dixie State will break the press, and the layup from Josh Newbold rims out, but it's tapped back out, and Dixie State will reset. And all the coaches jump off the bench and say, now hold on, we've got possession, a 12-point lead late in this game, so let's be smart. 9 to shoot. Remember, you only get 20 seconds on the reset after an offensive rebound. Pagankoff deep 3 left wing. No, another offensive rebound, Dixie State, and Schofield is fouled by J.J. Eli.
You know, a lot of people are going to look at that shot and think, God, it's such a bad shot with, you know, at this point in the game. But long 3-pointers like that for Jack Pagankoff creates long rebounds, and those long rebounds increase the offensive chance of getting an offensive rebound. So he can hit that shot, but it also helps with offensive rebounding.
Schofield will miss the front end of the 1-and-1. And Westminster has it back. 12-point Dixie State lead with 2:05 remaining. Eli. Gives to Monson, handoff. Top of the key, Quisenberry. Now Connor. Connor trying to skip it across to the right wing to Eli, and he was already moving to his left. He throws it out of bounds, a turnover back to Dixie State.
Well, even though the offense hasn't been as good in the second half, more turnovers for the Trailblazers, the defense has been equally effective as it was in half number 1 as half number 2.
Dixie State is going to almost turn it over on the other way back up the floor.
Well, Josh Newbold got away with the foul there right in front of us.
I was just going to say that. Newbold crushed Brandon War right there at half court. And that's why Brandon couldn't finish the steal. Dixie State going to take a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Let's keep it right here with 1:40 remaining. Timeout's brought to you by Dairy Queen. As you see, good look from our CEC TV crew. Coach Judkins scribbling away furiously on that marker board there and say, hey guys, let's finish this off here. Let's play clean. We played a great game. You know, let's not have anything at the end of this game that kind of taints this performance tonight. Let's make it a complete performance and let's win this thing and start 1-0 in conference. And got South Dakota Mines next Friday, Black Hills State next Saturday, and you're off and running in the conference season.
You know, hopefully Coach Judkins has drawn up a play for Frank Stain, who 16 points tonight, season high 17. Yet to score
1 bucket.
Yeah, 1 bucket, has not scored the second half. Would love to see him. He needs a career night.
I
tonight.
checked that season high mark at halftime, so that's my fault. I'll take. I didn't say it, but it was still the extension of the broadcaster's jinx.
It goes to the depth of this team and the unselfish play, though, and they're not trying to force feed the offense through any one guy. He's only shot 1 time in the second half, so it's not like, you know, they're not getting good looks. It's just not coming from Frank.
Yeah, it was a great look. Pagankoff gets inside his look at the bucket. Couldn't get it to go, and the rebound to Westminster. 68-56, Dixie State by 12, and 1:25 remaining. Eli crossing over to the right, backs it back out right wing. He'll swing it over to Quisenberry. Quisenberry passes the inline, left corner 3 on the way and in from Jake Connor. And it's a 9-point Dixie State lead and a timeout taken by Westminster.
Yeah, they did make them use a lot of clock there before they did hit that open 3, but finally a triple down the stretch here falls for Westminster. And now if you're Coach Parrish, probably turn this into a free throw shooting contest and make Dixie State, who's only a 67% team on the season, the young season, try to, you know, seal it from the line.
That's exactly what they're going to do. He's really going to try to slow this down a little bit, manufacture some points, get to the free throw line, but definitely try to get War going. If they can get him some good looks, there is no question, Devin, he's going to get hot and can get hot really fast.
Yeah, Brent, I mean, War tonight, 8 out of 19 from the field, 22 points, 9 rebounds. He averages a double-double. He's a rebound away from continuing that trend tonight. And now the officials are going to go to the monitor here, and they're going to hold play here for a quick replay check. Under 2 minutes, officials can go to the monitor in the RMAC conference and double check. And that's what they're doing right now. Dixie State still continuing to shoot it good, Mike. 43% from the game, but 9 of 18, 50% from downtown. Haven't taken as many threes in the second half. Trying to be patient, but still, the defense has been really good throughout from the get-go for the Trailblazers, holding the Griffins to 33%.
You're right on, Devin. Very strong defensive effort by the Trailblazers the entire game.
Referees taking a look at the monitor, trying to make sure they have the time correct, and make sure that no time ran off after the made three and the timeout call. I think they are going to be adding a little bit more time. Or no, maybe it was the shot clock. Now they're going to put 1 second up. The shot clock should be at 30. There it goes.
They'll reset the shot clock.
They reset the shot clock. 1 second added to 109 from 108 after the timeout was granted to Westminster. The Griffins have 2 timeouts remaining. Dixie State with 1 timeout remaining in a 9-point game. Inbound to Andre Wilson. Andre back to Youngblood. Youngblood. Cross-court pass to Frank Stain. Stain is bumped from behind by Alec Monson. And Monson can't believe it. But that will send Stain to the line for a pair of free throws.
Yeah.
And here you go, Mike. Here's his chance.
Hopefully he gets it.
You know, Connor didn't like it, but I think it's a smart foul. I mean, you
Very
want to
smart.
stop the clock, and only 9 seconds came off. Dixie State handled the pressure, got it into the front court.
Stain makes the first free throw and ties his season and career high as a freshman. And he'll have one more chance. And he leaves it short. I think Jacob Nichols was going to check in for him. I think he wanted to stay in this ballgame.
Kind of appeared that way.
54 seconds remaining. Eli inside, high off the window and in. And it's an 8-point game, 69-61.
That was an acrobatic, high-hanging shot. That's his first field goal of the night. Where's that been?
To Stain, ahead to Newbold. Newbold splits 2 defenders, gets it to Youngblood, over to Wilson. Into the corner, Stain.
Got a foul.
Stain will bounce to Wilson. 34 seconds remaining, 13 on the shot clock. He'll pass to Schofield, and Schofield throws it down with 2 hands, and play will halt after the 2-hand flush.
Yeah, Andre
as
Wilson.
a collision between Wilson and, was it Brandon War?
Yeah, Wilson dribbles in, dishes it out, and then he gets buckled backwards there. No call there. They count the dunk. 2-hand monstrous slam. And the Trailblazers back up by 10. That might have been the exclamation point right there and sealed the deal, guys.
Definitely a great possession that broke the press twice, right in a row. The ball never touched the floor. They broke the pass with, or the press with passing. Great discipline there by Dixie State.
Game and shot nearly identical. Brandon War for 3 straight away, way off the mark. Ball is loose, and a whistle and a foul as the team's going for the loose ball, and the foul will be called against Westminster, and that's Alec Monson, and that is number 5 against Alec Monson. So he will foul out of the ball game, and Frank Stain back to the line to try to get that season high.
Yeah, leads the Trailblazers tonight with 17, all but 1 in that first half. Schofield's got 14, Newbold's got 11. Youngblood's chipped in 8.
Stain to the line for a pair of free throws. And he misses the first. He says, I got plenty of time left in my Dixie State career for those season and career highs.
Well, he's a great young talent. There's no question. Future looks really
There
bright.
it is. Makes the second free throw.
And guys, you know, we've been around doing Dixie State games for a long time. It's not often that freshmen start for Judkins. A lot of times it's, you know.
I mean, Trevor was probably
Trevor
the last
Hill.
one, really, that got extended time.
Guys like DeQuan Thompson, you know, some special players that have been through here.
Eli will drive inside and lay it up and in. It's a 72-63 Dixie State lead. It'll be a full timeout with 9.6 seconds remaining. So let's take it. 60-second timeout, and back for the conclusion of this one on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your
mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Give your town a reason to celebrate, because every Goodwill item you bring home brings job training and more to your community. Goodwill, bring good home.
I got you right where I want you. I make this one, it's over. I win.
No pressure. Bring it.
We may not always play good, but when we want to look good, we come to the Dixie State campus store.
Located on the second floor of the Gardner Center. We'll see you there.
.6 seconds remaining. Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. Dixie State, a 9-point lead. Full court pressure by the Griffins, and the ball is tied up. And the Trailblazers will have the arrow after the tie-up. And that was Dominic Cervantes reaching in to tie that ball up. 6.4 seconds remaining now. Dixie State a 9-point lead, 72-63. Youngblood trying to find Andre Wilson, and he's fouled by J.J. Eli. Well, 0.4 of a second came off the clock, and Jake Connor has tried to tell about every official on the floor that happened. I don't think those 0.4 are going to make a big difference. However, the whistle did ring out technically before the ball was inbounded.
Great way to start RMAC play. I mean, coming into it, you didn't know what to expect with this game here against Westminster. It's just RMAC opener, but man, Dixie came out ready. They responded very well to this.
And a good crowd from the community. The school is out for Thanksgiving break, obviously. Next Friday and Saturday, more home games here. Let's pack the Burns Arena and really get this place really loud and really raucous.
They are going to come over to the monitor, I think, to make sure on the time, or
there was a little delay. There was a little lapse.
It should be at 6. It was at 6.4 before that play. So if that whistle, was called before the ball was technically inbounded, then no time should have run off the clock. So
clock's been adjusted,
and it's going to be 6.4 seconds.
Yeah, good call.
And now Jake Connor can go home happy.
Yeah.
He got those 0.4 of a second back up on the clock. Andre Wilson. Back to the stripe for a pair of free throws. First one on the way and in. 73-63. Dixie State a 10-point lead.
And I like the way Andre Wilson is kind of responding after getting those 2 early fouls. He didn't let it affect him. He got that third foul pretty early in the half, but kind of finally caught a rhythm here in the second half and has done some nice things.
Second free throw is good as well. Here's Wall Jasper driving coast to coast. He'll lay it off the glass. Won't go, and Dixie State will win by double digits. 74-63, and is off to its best start are the Trailblazers through 6 games since the 2013-2014 season. They started that year 11-0. Dixie State is 6-0 for the first time since then, as the Trailblazers win it 74-63. Guys, quick hitter thoughts before we go to break and before we wrap this thing up. Really, there was a little lull in between the 10-minute mark and the 2-minute mark of the second half. The defense of this team was able to keep the lead, and really an overall great performance. I mean, when you open your conference play on November 30th, it's not even December yet, and you're playing a conference game, tonight was probably about all you could ask for to win that conference opener against your in-state rival.
Right. Got to give a lot of credit to those starting 5. I thought the starting 5 for Dixie State was great tonight. Very balanced. Did a great job of not just scoring points. I think the starting 5 tonight really played well. The guys coming off the bench, they filled those roles nicely, but I think the starters tonight really came to play.
Yeah, and balance again.
Yeah,
I mean, you got good production up and down the lineup. You showed your bench can get in and give you some energy when needed. I thought the rebounding was huge. Dixie State ended up winning that rebound battle, which we thought was a key for both teams in this one. And really, the defensive intensity was what you'd expect from a Coach Judkins team in the RMAC opener tonight.
Trailblazers win at 74-63, and the Trailblazers are 6-0 for the first time since 2013-2014 when they began that season 11-0. Hey, that was also the year that they went down and beat UNLV.
That's right.
In that exhibition matchup.
I did that game. I remember that well. That was a lot of fun. I wish they'd schedule us a little bit more.
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
That's
we
true.
get plenty of those types of games starting next year, right?
Yeah, that's what's exciting for fans.
Yes.
I mean, the home slate of games next year is going to be incredible.
It'll be fun.
But still, this season
we got this season
to worry
this team
about.
is undefeated.
That's right.
And they want to end this D2 membership and RMAC membership with a bang.
Well, and I remember
they
how
want
we
to hang another banner.
How we finished off our final season in the Pac West. We went out with a bang.
And then they want to do it again. They want to hang another banner. And where are those banners? They moved them. They're on the north end of the arena now. They want to add another banner and get some rings on the way out of D2 and the way out of the RMAC and show this conference that, hey, we're for real. And they were picked second in the coaches' polls. It wasn't like they didn't get any respect, but
that's an award though that's based on kind of what you did last year.
Last year.
Now you got a new overhauled roster, but it's exciting to see this team because the chemistry early in the season looks really sharp. There's depth. The offense has evolved. It's a little bit more spacing. So it's going to be a fun season for the Trailblazers. Just not a perfect game, not a perfect win. It rarely is. Still a lot that they can go back to the film room and get better after this. Didn't shoot it great in the second half compared to the first half, but I thought overall the shot selection was good. Jack's not going to go 2 of 13 most nights, but he makes up with his rebounds and assists and so many other things. I mean, he just fills up a box score, and so definitely a lot to look forward to for the Trailblazer fans out there.
Dixie State a 74-63 win. Let's step away. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. We will come back with the Jimmy John's post-game report right here on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
We may have started out small, but we were great. Families and fans rallied behind their team. The community cared, and everyone showed up to cheer. Now, we're bigger than ever. Dixie State is going to Division I.
Here we go in transition, and he throws it down with one hand.
But at the end of the day, it's the community and fans that make us great. Whether you give $5 or $1,000, every dollar, every seat in the stands, every one of you can help blaze our trail to Division I athletics, because this is our team.
Hey guys, how are you today? Good. I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back inside the Burns Arena. The Trailblazers 74-63 winners in this one. We welcome you inside the Jimmy John's postgame report, still courtside alongside Mike Olson and Devin Dixon. I'm Carrick Segmiller as we break this one down and kind of dissect some more of the numbers. And we talked a little bit about some of our thoughts before we went to break, guys. But I'll just kind of rehash what I said. And for those of you just tuning in, maybe catching the postgame show in the car on the way home, it really felt like there was a little lull, but that's to be expected. I mean, you're not going to be, 100% every single game from start to finish, and that's what makes great teams great, is that they're able to overcome those moments and still win. And Dixie State putting together a very complete performance tonight, good offensive performances tonight, but also giving up just 63 points, which I believe is a season low so far through 6 games. Indeed it is. The fewest points they've given up so far this season, and to do it against Westminster, a team that can score it and run up the score, I felt like was very impressive. I felt like the defense should be lauded just as much as any offensive effort tonight.
Yeah, I've been very complimentary of the defense, and that's what you'd kind of expect. You play these preseason games, you're a little more loose, and then it's conference, and you're on your home floor, just lock them down, right? A little bit more intensity, and you're competing. I love the hustle, the 50-50 balls. Turnovers a little high in the second half. That'll drive Juddy crazy till about midnight, and then he'll get some sleep because they won the game.
That's right. And this game is unique because you've not only seen these guys so much, but they're your travel partner in RMAC play. So you don't play another game. It's a Saturday night game. It's your only game. So there wasn't another team to have to prepare for. So both teams coming in so equally prepared and ready for each other. Dixie just responded. It came down to who wanted this game more. And here, as you mentioned pregame, Devin, tough team to beat inside Burns Arena.
Yeah, and again, I love the shot selection. I thought was really good tonight. I mean, Frank, 6 out of 8, and he was in good spots, especially in the first half. And then, I thought Newbold probably had, I know he had 20 the other night, but I love the way and 6 rebounds. That's going to help his season average. That's something they want more of from him. He's capable of it. So that was good. Schofield, 6 of 13, another really good stat line for him, 14 points, 5 rebounds. So, and then you had, Dayson was 4 of 10. And then I like Parker coming off the bench and put it in the microwave there, 2 for 2 from downtown for his 6 points. Cameron had that one little hanging, driving lay-in that was nice. So there wasn't a overload of bench production, but there was just enough to where you could see this bench is going to be very crucial all season long for Coach Judkins.
Absolutely. The depth is going to be key, and he's definitely got it both in the post and in the perimeter.
Nine guys scored points tonight for Dixie State. And you look at the Griffins, and they had 6. So that +3, just that little extra production comes in handy, especially as you are playing those back-to-backs in those conference games, and you're on the road in South Dakota and all these places that they'll go to finish up their final season in the RMAC.
Unfortunately, Dixie State doesn't have to go to South Dakota this year, but there will be some long trips, and in a couple of weeks you're making a trip to Mexico Highlands and a back-to-back at CSU Pueblo. That's going to be one of the toughest back-to-backs they'll have all year long, and they're going to be playing in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Then you got to drive to Pueblo, Colorado. That may be the toughest back-to-back they have. They also have the MSU Denver at Chadron State. So you got to go from Denver to Chadron, Nebraska as well. That'll be in mid-January. So they'll have some tough back-to-backs. And I can tell you one thing right now, this coaching staff and any of these players that's going to be on this roster still next year is looking forward to having that Thursday, Saturday basketball schedule back. But right now, you got to be able to play those back-to-backs, and the Trailblazers are 6-0. They're glad. You're playing your first conference game in November. It's not even December yet. It's Thanksgiving weekend. You don't know how the guys are going to respond from, usually in the past, and Coach Judkins, and I think he likes to play at home, but a lot of times you see his teams will be on the road Thanksgiving weekend. Oh, yeah. I've had a number of trips with them on the road Thanksgiving weekend. I don't think he likes to be away from home during Thanksgiving necessarily. He likes to get out there and play and be a little more focused. This year was different. You split. The guys probably got some time with their family on Thanksgiving. You only had the one game Saturday. I'm sure they got back yesterday and had some time in the gym and then the game today, and was very impressed with how they came out. And you mentioned this early, guys, on the broadcast. The energy right from the get-go was there as the starters on this team really wanted to make a statement. They came out. They made that statement. Did not start slowly. We were playing from in front most of the game, led for most of the game, and really a complete performance for this Dixie State team tonight. And, we've mentioned a couple individuals. But how about, I'm just going to the freshman, a career-high 18 points for Frank Stain. And, in a year where you're going, and we talked about this too, in a year where you're trying to replace your leading scorer in Matt Conway, you're trying to replace your hustle guy and a pretty good scorer in Zach Frampton, who he had his reasons but decided to hang it up as well. And you're looking at, who's coming back. You got Pagankoff coming back. You got Andre Wilson coming back. You got Cameron Chatwin and a few of these guys coming back. You're looking at who's going to be your bulk scorer. Right off the bat, it was Hunter Schofield.
Yep.
And then you look at a freshman in Frank Stain that is scoring the way he's scoring this year, 14 points per game. This will help bump that up just a little bit. But, we mentioned that he's the first freshman to really get this heavy of minutes since probably a Trevor Hill back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, he kind of reminds me of Trevor with a little better shooting touch from the outside. Kind of reminds me of the same type of player as a Trevor Hill. And it's just fantastic.
Although on that breakaway dunk, Trevor would have tomahawked that one.
And that breakaway dunk, Trevor would have put on a show. And that's why I was gearing up for that on the call as well. But Dixie State needed a scorer, kind of a more volume scorer, and there's a freshman to step up and to be there. And they're showing already that, we're end of November. Probably a month ago, before this started, we had huge question marks saying, is this team going to be able to do what they want to do and accomplish those goals that they want going out? And now I think some of those questions at least have been answered. I know you're only 6 games in, only 1 conference game in, so a ton of basketball to be played still. But I think they've answered a lot of the questions about, hey, can this team play? How are they going to be able to do it?
Yeah, and you look at the 3 RMAC home games to start. You go 3 in RMAC, you're going to keep going up in all the polls nationally. You're going to really position yourself with a great start to be a tournament team, even if you drop a conference game on the road at some point in time or even a couple. How will this team travel on the road? I think we got some preseason games on the road. Nothing too crazy up to Westminster a couple of times, but that'll be the really calling card for me is when you get a little deeper into conference, those trips that you mentioned, Carrick.
2 weeks away when you go to New Mexico Highlands.
Can you, be very unselfish on the road play, within the framework of the offense. I like the 16 assists tonight. That's compared to Westminster, they only had 10 team assists. That's something Juddy's teams are always really good at. And it was really Dason and Jack there in the assist department. Frank had 3 too. They had the bulk of them there tonight. Jack with 6, Dason with 4. So you love that. Those guys, again, we talked about it in the key to the game, trying to get those guys out of the lane. I thought Westminster did a little bit better job in the second half of keeping Jack and Dason out of the lane, except for a couple key possessions in the second half. It was really more the offensive rebounding in the second half that I think really sparked Dixie State and allowed them to kind of salt this game away.
And here comes Coach Judkins emerging out of the tunnel. And Mike, we've got a 4th headset this year, so you keep that on because you're our question asker here. You got to bring the goods here. And
by the way,
this interview,
the total rebounds 44 to 33, so plus 11 in rebounding tonight for Dixie State. Obviously, the free throws, they got there 14 times in the second half, but only 50%. They might have to do some ladders for that, next week in practice. They got to improve that a little bit. That season average 67% and only 50% tonight from the stripe. But you got the win in the conference opener. That's what matters the most.
He's the coach, head coach John Judkins. Can you hear us, Coach?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So Devin, I said he's the coach. That was Devin. He's the coach. I love it.
Well, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to get a first conference win. Again, I don't think we played great, but I like how hard we
Devin's going to bend that mic a little closer to you.
There you go.
There he is.
Seahawks going to lose Monday night.
Hey, now. If I have to hear Skull Viking out of you, I'm going to
starting the interview off right. Starting the interview off right.
I'm a little bit worried, so I'm just telling you that now. So anyway, no, I thought we played really hard, and we defensively, I thought at times was really good to hold them to 34% shooting, especially that first half. We held them 30. Ward hit a couple big threes early in the game, and then I thought we did a lot better job the second half finding where he was at. He's a great rebounder. We only gave up 2 offensive boards on him, which was one of our big keys, keep him off the glass. I thought first half we shared the ball better. We did a good job of driving it, and then they collapsed and we were kicking it. I mean, Frank had all his points in that first half, those 4 threes he hit. He had a real good looking one here, and he missed it, but it looked good. I thought second half we were trying to do too much by ourselves. Jack was forcing stuff. Hunter was forcing stuff. And that's why we had, 10 turnovers to 7 assists or something like that.
Assists, yeah.
So we just, the first half we had 9 assists, 2 turnovers. Second half we had 10 turnovers and 7 assists. So we just didn't, share the ball. And again, it's hard because they want to win so bad that they see a gap and they want to take it. But how we got our lead was they were collapsing, and we just needed to kick it out and knock down shots. But again, overall, pretty good game. Again, I thought it was both teams were really we didn't execute very well, both teams. I think it's early, but it's a good way to start your conference, and I'm happy with that.
To piggyback off that, how do you feel like the chemistry is? You got a lot of new faces this year. You got to be pleased you haven't lost a game yet.
Yeah, they're getting it. Again, the ones I think should know it a little bit more are kind of struggling. And that's it with Jack today, second half. He's our point guard. He's been here. He understands it. But, one time I called timeout. I said, okay, there's 23 on the shot. Let's get a good shot. Let's run this. And he drives it and shoots a tough fadeaway jumper, And so stuff like that he's got to see and he's got to learn. But I thought he would do better at that. Cameron's another senior leader. Andre didn't play very much. He got in foul trouble, but his are dumb. His are just reaching fouls, just dumb ones. We thought they were going to foul us and be more aggressive, and tonight I thought we were the ones that were being more aggressive, which I like, but just don't foul. They were in the bonus the second half really early, and I thought ours were just dumb fouls. They weren't. I don't mind a tough foul fighting through a screen or a charge, drive it hard and all that, but just a little ticky-tack, dumb fouls, that drives me bananas. But it happens. It happens, and, we just got to learn and get better from that. A couple times we had tip balls, and we go hustle to try to get it, and we get a foul. And it's hard to say don't do that because they're so excited, but that's where, hey, the ball's way out there. I can't get it. Let it go. But, hey, it happens. It's our sixth game, we got ways to keep getting better and better, but they came out tonight ready to play. Defensively, at the scouting report, they did exactly what we asked them to do defensively, especially man. I thought we hurt them with a little bit of zone tonight, changing it up, keeping them off balance. Maybe stayed in it a little too long the second half. But, again, I thought they came ready to play, and that made a big difference.
Coach, I'm going to back up a little bit, just make sure our listeners heard something that you said, because I think it's
Vikings. No.
Yeah, he's excited for that game.
Don't bring that back up.
No, you said both teams didn't execute very well. And I want to point out, them so well. Like, you knew Westminster well enough to know that they didn't execute very well. So knowing them as well as you do, and them knowing you as well as they do, what adjustment really stood out to you tonight? You were making adjustments throughout the night. Coach Parrish was making adjustments. What adjustment really stands out to you?
I think, like I said, changing up our defense is catching them off guard, keeping them off balance. They run that little pistol action, a lot of ball handoffs. I thought we did a really good job of that. They didn't know how to respond on that, which we thought we could get them with that. I don't think execution, they didn't really take anything away. The only thing I saw they did on us was they stopped our reversal from the top. Our four-man was getting a hard time to reverse it to him, which we adjusted, say, go set a ball screen instead of reversing it. And then we tried to do a little bit more dribble entries instead of passing because they were denying our wings. And I was hoping we could get a few more back cuts on them, and we didn't. But, again, that's just something we have to work on to do it. But that was some adjustments that we made. I don't think he made as many because he didn't. I mean, we knew him. Like you said, when you say we know him, people got to understand that the whole month of November we played with him. We saw him 4 straight times, or 6 straight times. 2 up there, 2 here. Yeah, 6 straight times. 3 straight weekends in a row, we saw them play and they saw us. So we knew their calls. We knew what they were doing. They knew our stuff. And that's what I brought up in shoot-around today is that, guys, this is like practice. Everybody's going to know everybody's spots. Everybody's going to know what we're doing. But you know what? It still works in practice too, doesn't it? And I go, we just got to, just because they're yelling at our player what we're doing, still run it, take what they give you. And tonight, I can't wait to see it on film because I think there's things that we missed that were, that were open. But you're right, Olds. It's and then we don't see him now for 3 more months, at the end of the year. So it's going to be nice that way because I'm tired of Norm right now. So.
Well, 21 push looked good, just so you know.
There you go, 21 push. There you go. I thought that hurt him. I really do. I thought that hurt him. And we didn't do it very good with a couple times. They caught us in the corners with it. But they run a lot of zone stuff to the corners, and that's why we try to do it.
Coach, to me, the offense looks a little different. You and I were talking preseason. You've got Coach Jake back. You've got Andrew May, Big Dave Foster back with you. But it looks like you guys have tweaked to match your personnel a little bit. We were talking about that.
Yeah, well, we got Josh, we got Cam that can really shoot. They're like stretch 4s, And so we do a good job of spreading out the floor that way. We talked about that on the way in. Was at the end of the game, our coaching staff, we said, we got to have some plays that we can go inside more to Hunter, because we had a mismatch tonight and we didn't take advantage of it as well as we should have. So we got to get back of maybe some of the stuff we had in last year, that we got Julian, we got Matt Conway the ball. There's some things we have to do, but again, it's our 6th game. But the stuff we're running just takes time, and so that's why we were spending a lot of time with that. I think we're getting better now. We got to get some more power stuff of getting the ball inside.
It seemed like they had trouble keeping Dason and Jack out of the lane, and that created some really good looks.
Yeah.
You guys shot the 3 remarkable tonight.
50%. And a lot of those were first half, because we were driving it and they were collapsing and we were hitting open guys. Frank hit some, and we need to do that again. We thought we could hurt them off the bounce. I just thought the second half we were trying to force a little too much. 2 or 3 guys were on us, and they thought they were getting fouled, but again, you can think all you want. The ref's not calling it, then it's not a foul. So I thought that's something that Jack's got to learn, something Dason's got to learn. He shot a tough left hand shot too as well, but but that's something that we got to get better with. But I thought we could hurt him with driving it.
Some of those guys, one of those guys that made a lot of those threes in the first half is your freshman Frank Stain, and we've talked about him already this year, so it's nothing new over these first 5 or 6 games. But one of the questions coming into the season was, hey, with a couple of those leading scorers not coming back, who's going to step up? Who's going to carry some of that scoring bulk? Your freshman Frank Stain, it's been fantastic through 6 games. I mean, 6 of 8 tonight, 4 of 5 from the outside. 4 rebounds as well. A couple of turnovers there, but 3 assists. I mean, and a steal. Did a little bit of everything tonight. And the one shot he did miss here was a good look, and got his own rebound, and then maybe took one dribble instead of going for a 15-footer. But talk about his play and what he's meant to this team this year.
Yeah, he's getting better and better. His problem that I see, and I talked to him a lot about it, was just sometimes he takes plays off on the defensive end. And when I see him standing up and not moving, then I got to get him out. He's tired. But I was worried about we lost Matt Conway, we lost Zach Frampton, we lost Bubba. And I thought teams are going to have a tough time. I mean, we're going to have a hard time shooting the perimeter shots. Jack, one day he's on fire, the next day he can't hit the side of a barn. So we're worried about that, and Frank's really stepped that up. He's one of our best. Andre hit a big 3. But we spent a lot of time shooting threes. What I'm trying to get Frank to do now is get an all-around game. He's shooting it really well on the perimeter. Now he's got to do little pull-ups. He's got to be able to get those little – that one he took a charge, a great example. I mean, he should just take a one dribble, pull-up jumper and hit it. He tried to go a little too far. But, again, he's a freshman. It's a 6th game, 6th game at a college level. So we're excited. I think the future's bright for him. We just got to get him to play hard all the time that way. But
and Leighton Parker's another freshman that came in and hit 2 threes.
He hit 2 threes. He's a good defender. He's a smart kid. He just got home off his mission, so his legs are still kind of not there. But he's another one I think is going to be pretty solid too as well.
Coach,
hey,
congrats on the win.
Nice mustache.
You like that? That's my Thanksgiving mustache. I had to grow it out all week just for this game.
All right.
I can't grow facial hair very well.
Coach, how did you like having Thanksgiving at home for a change this week?
Yeah, that was great. No, we've had it now. It's 2 years in a row. But normally this year we took it all off. We gave them the whole day off and let them spend some time with family, and they deserve that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But normally I'd rather play on Thanksgiving and give them Christmas off. And next year's going to be different because Division I, you can play over Christmas stuff. So I thought it was nice to give them that time off, and it was fun.
Normally we're freezing our tails off up in Billings,
Montana
or something.
Cold
you know what I mean? It was cold here. It was cold.
We
didn't get any white stuff though.
Yeah, we're in Colorado, Mesa, and it's freezing. Remember those days too. So it was fun. It was a good weekend, and now we got to get better. We play 2 good teams coming in this. We got to get people here. So Devin, on your show, let's get it going, buddy. But I know students aren't here. The community was pretty good, though. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Students should be back next week.
Yeah, we got to get people here. This is a fun team to watch.
We need all those silly signs. I missed that tonight.
The curtain of distraction. We need it.
And I think they'll get it. They'll get it. But our student body officers and all those guys will get it going. But it was still a fun atmosphere.
It was still pretty good.
It was still pretty good. So appreciate you guys and covering us on the air. And we'll see you on Friday.
Absolutely. Congrats, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Coach.
He is head coach John Judkins, and we'll wrap this up quick here. We got some of the TV crew starting to gather around us, and they're just kind of staring at us. I think they want to go home. And get ready for the weekend.
What do you mean Saturday night in St. George? There's places to be right now.
Let's
frozen
go.
Yogurt or maybe a midnight movie or something. Popping.
You were really talking it up there. Trailblazers win at 74-63. Final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this one up.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this season. I mean, Coach Judkins always does a great job getting his guys ready, and the start is the start. I mean, they're undefeated, haven't lost a game, conference opener in the books, and this could be a special season. And, again, I brought it up earlier, I bring it up again. I remember going out in the Pac West, and that was a fun season. There was some extra motivation. You want to leave that conference, and you kind of have the rest of the conference say, good thing Dixie State's leaving because they're kicking our butt all year. So you kind of, wishful thinking maybe, but I think that this team is capable of winning a conference title, getting into the NC 2A tournament, and maybe making a run. It's been, since 2011 since we got to the Sweet 16, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe we got one of those fun ones ahead. We'll just have to wait and see. A lot of things you got to stay healthy, and guys got to keep getting better. But there's a lot of excitement. There's a buzz around this team in Southern Utah already.
Women's soccer team in the Sweet 16.
That's awesome.
They're gonna, lay the model and say, hey, other teams, let's go. We need someone from each season at least in that NCAA tournament. And
the Dixie State women's team's pretty good this
Yeah.
year too. I mean, they've
Yeah.
kind of retooled. They lose a heartbreaker tonight, but had chances to win it.
They had a tough third quarter, kind of went cold, and they were closer than that game showed, I think, at some point.
And Westminster's women's team, I think, is going to be
Yeah.
really good. One of the top teams in the conference.
Yep. So they'll be just fine. Coach Gustin and Coach Matt Legursky has really meant a lot to this team as well. He spent a lot of time at Utah and just coaching at all levels, and really defensive-minded coach and works with those post players. So you're going to see a lot of difference defensively in that women's team. So it's going to be a fun year of Dixie State basketball overall. A lot of wins are going to be on the table this year, and it will be fun. Guys, fun doing the three-man crew again. Looking forward to the next. We have 4 more of those broadcasts upcoming, and then maybe even more if we can work in some conference tournament games, and who knows? We'd love to see this team do well enough to host a regional. That's something that this program has never done. It's been one of the host sites for the regional. So you'd love to be able to see that. A lot of basketball we played still. We won't get too far ahead of ourselves. But thanks so much for listening or watching, however you tuned in and enjoying tonight's broadcast. For Devin Dixon and Mike Olson, I'm Carrick Segmiller. We'll catch you next week on the broadcast at South Dakota Mines, Friday night, Black Hills State, Saturday night, right here inside the Burns Arena before the Trailblazers head out for that first real tough road trip to New Mexico Highlands and CSU Pueblo. Then, of course, they go non-conference action. They just go up to Monmouth, Oregon. Just a brutal trip there as well. So been easy so far, but now you got, after next weekend, you got some brutal travel before the Christmas break. So Dixie State winning it 74-63. I'm Carrick Segmiller. Thanks so much for listening and watching. Catch you next week.